effort. They're investing an estimated $57 million into UTSA athletics. The Spurs are back tonight after the Rodeo Road Trip. Can they get a win? We have some thoughts here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Huddle up. It is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rob Thompson out today. My name is RJ Ochoa, and I am not alone. All right, I did this thing Hans style yesterday. It's kind of been a Hans style sort of week here.
It really has, yeah.
On the Sports Star. That is the beautiful baritone voice of the Blitz's Joe Reinagel, who is up, I would say bright and early, but it's never bright this time of day, Joe.
It's actually dark outside, and this is like, geez, I mean, you do this every day, RJ?
Yeah, it's
this is crazy.
It's a tough scene. It's but it's a way of life, and for today at least, you are part of it. And
I am
pulling the double, but it's the first time this week that you're going to pull a double, and you're going to have a co-host for both of the shows. So at least you got that going on for you.
Well, that's kind of nice. I'll be honest with you. When we did the show on Monday, and then I was solo on Monday afternoon, it was like about 4:30. I went bam. That wall just hit me right in the face. But I powered through, RJ, and here we are.
Were you aware of the term Han style before this week? Did you ever heard that before?
No, I wasn't. I get it, Han Solo. I get it. That's nice and cute and all, but I was just solo.
Well, if I could teach you something, anything, I mean, I consider it a privilege. And so now you can use that in your own, you're going to be walking around somewhere, you're going to be doing something, someone's going to say something, you'll be like, oh, so you did that Han style. You're going to go, damn,
Han style.
This Joe dude's pretty clever. So
I think it's either that or they say, man, that Joe dude's a weirdo.
That's
one
true.
Of the two. Either way, you get a response. That's
the side of the coin that I like to straddle, but or the way I like to straddle. I don't know what that means, but anyway, we have quite the show in store for the listening and viewing audience today. If anybody hasn't yet, they should go to YouTube, subscribe to the SA Sports Star channel, like every video, turn on the notifications so that when we go live at 6 a.m. here on the Morning Huddle, when Joe and Jason go live on the Blitz every day, you get notifications, you jump in, you comment, you tell Joe how incredible his hair looks, the volume, dude. Insane. Which it's
I was pretty impressed this morning myself. So thank you, RJ. It was what can I say? I need a haircut now. It's full transparency. I had an appointment Monday morning. I had to cancel.
Wow.
So
that sounds like a brewing grievance.
So I've got to reschedule, and I haven't done that yet because I'm not sure exactly what's happening the rest of this week, but I'll get it done. It'll be fine.
That's the worst when you need a haircut and it just can't happen, and you got to keep delaying it, and it just that when you get it cut and you first lay on the pillow, it's gonna feel great, but you just haven't had that feeling yet. I was in this boat earlier this week myself, but I finally got my haircut on Tuesday, I think. And so that first hit of the pillow, man, you're on your way to something incredible. That's all I'll say to you.
Well, I feel bad for people that cut my hair because it's not easy to do. It's really not. And so, but it usually takes if I go get it cut, I have to wait a couple of days for it to get exactly where I want it to be. And so it's almost like my hair goes into shock. So it's cut, it's into shock. And so then it has to relax a little bit, And by about the second day after, it's good to go.
Well, the best day that your yard looks the best isn't when you first cut it. You know what I mean? It needs, it needs the sun to hit it one time, just a coat of water, so you'll get there and you'll be in tip top shape soon enough. We had a whole show planned as of yesterday afternoon, but then all sorts of crazy crap happened. Well, relative to the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets, we may have a snitch, Joe, in the NFL. Can you believe this?
Well, sure, I can believe it. Why not? And you know what? I would be surprised if that doesn't happen more often. Although this one was pretty egregious enough for the snitch to be outed by other players, and that's pretty egregious.
Mecole Hardman is he hasn't caught a direct accusation yet, but all fingers are pointed in one particular direction. Chris Breckenridge in the Brigade Bar says, "Good morning, Joe. Welcome to the Huddle." So you,
Chris,
official member,
good morning.
Card-carrying member.
Good morning, Chris. Happy to be here this morning. I really am. You know what? Once you get out of bed, I'm on my second cup of coffee. It's not so bad.
Look, the only thing that I can say that is objectively true about all this is you feel a high sense of productivity by the end of it, especially when you're doing a show on the West Coast. It is the weirdest feeling in the world to be done at 8 a.m. and to be like, well, here's the day. So, you calibrate the body. You'll get in a nap. You'll figure something out. On Monday, I asked you if you had your lunch plans yet. Did you learn from that mistake? Did you have lunch planned and laid out ready for yourself before the blitz later on?
Well, possibly. Maggie and I, my wife, we went to P.F. Chang's last night after the show for dinner.
Oh, man, congrats.
Had dinner there. So it's always there's a lot of food there. So we've got a lot of leftovers. So that's certainly a possibility, depending on how I feel about 10 o'clock. Because after the show Monday, I mean, I didn't want to wait till noon. I mean, I was hungry then and had no cereal in the house. And so I had to do an early lunch. So that could be happening today as well. I don't know.
You made it through that, so we're proud of you. I wonder who will play you in the movie about the story of that tribulation. Somebody with
Mark
a recent
Wahlberg,
haircut,
probably. Yeah,
that's a good call. I could totally see that if I really close my eyes, and it's possible. So we mentioned crazy crap. We've got a snitch in the NFL. I know you and Jason talked about the Spotrac contract extension prediction for Dak Prescott. It is 3 years, $180 million. So we'll get into that. But on the subject of the Dallas Cowboys, Joe, a story came out late last night, from Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, detailing about how the Cowboys are kind of all in on 2024, but not in the way that Jerry sort of hyped things up to be. Jerry hyped it up as like, hey, baby, we're gonna be all in, and it's really just kind of like, they're just like all in. It's a really kind of underwhelming description of where the Cowboys are at, and some details on Mike Zimmer's contract with the team that weren't previously reported.
Well, and honestly, and we were talking about this earlier, RJ. Anything that happens with the Cowboys is really not a surprise to me. But the circus is certainly back. And, if Gelkin's article is correct, and I have no reason to doubt that it is, it's funny, when they hired Mike Zimmer earlier, the first thought in my mind was, well, what is his contract status? I mean, are you going to, with Mike McCarthy hanging on and being in the final year of his contract, you're going to hire Mike Zimmer and give him a multi-year contract? Well, that would say to me then, if McCarthy gets whacked, then Zimmer's your guy. He's going to step in and be your head coach. So the fact that now that Gelkin comes out and says that Zimmer's on a one-year deal as well, I guess that makes a little more sense to me, because now you're really in limbo if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you have no clue what this team might look like next year.
Well, you mentioned it. Mike Zimmer reportedly on a one-year contract with the Cowboys that was not known before last night. We have some thoughts on that and the circus that the Cowboys are creating. It is their way. We'll get into it right now after this break here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together for $400. Then, After your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start playing today. Thank me later.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. We got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff. Yeah.
Great. And we have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here it goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll absolutely guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight from the mine. We have cutters and hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Is the IRS making you feel anxious? Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief specialize in problems like yours, and they're ready to negotiate your fresh start. Don't go another year fearing the IRS. Allies Tax Relief will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. You only pay if you qualify for their services, so why wait? Call 800-280-4184 today. That's 800-280-4184.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent are required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text TEAR to 42424
24 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TEAR to 42424. That's TEAR to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Tonight at 8:30, it's the Heat and Nuggets. The NBA lives on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
An NBA that the Spurs are not really a part of these days in terms of competitiveness. We'll get into it, of course, later on in Silver and Black with Joe Reinagel himself, who sent Spurs Twitter into a bit of a tizzy earlier this week. So Joe will have an opportunity to respond to everyone's finger pointing and laughing and mocking. For now, all of that kind of attention is focused squarely, Joe, on the Dallas Cowboys. You know?
Of course it is.
By the way, it's Leap Day. Happy Leap Day. Is that something we say to people?
I don't know. Are we supposed to do something different today, or is it like is this like an extra day in life that we weren't expecting?
A double. That's what you're doing on your, some people would say like carpe diem, seize the day, you know what I mean? That kind of thing on this day of all days, but you decided to just dive in.
Well, I figured that it's an extra day for me to get on a soapbox, piss people off, and that's what I like to do. So it's good.
I want to look up the origin of that expression. Would people actually stand on boxes that contain soap? Is that,
well, the deal was, RJ, is that, when you didn't have a lectern to go to or something, I mean, you get a box that soap came in. Now, I'm not necessarily thinking that there's still soap in that box, but they used the box to stand on. So they're higher and they can get their message out more easily.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to lecterns. I don't know that we've ever said the word lectern here on the Morning Huddle, but first time for everything. This is not going to be good for the Dallas Cowboys. You can just smell it. I mean, it's like when you walk into the meat market, Tri-County, whatever, you can already just smell it. Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News had an article that came out on Wednesday evening, and the title of the article was kind of based around how this could be a contract year for the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff. Now, Joe, it's not breaking news that Mike McCarthy's in a contract here with the Cowboys. We've known that for some time. It's the final year of the contract he signed in 2020. That goes for a lot of his staffers, obviously. But what was revealed in this article is that Mike Zimmer, new Cowboys defensive coordinator, is signed to a one-year deal. Now, some people had presumed that, some people had assumed that, but it is now known in actuality that Mike Zimmer has joined Mike McCarthy in being all in that respect. The Cowboys have set themselves up and their coaching staff to kick them out at season's end, which is just the most stable and comfortable way to operate, obviously.
Look, again, and I said this, I think, on Monday, and I've said it a million times. I think what the Cowboys have done and are doing to Mike McCarthy is just completely unfair. And I'm not a huge McCarthy fan. He is what he is, right? I'm either here nor there. But I think having this guy just hanging out to dry and say, hey, you got a one-year deal. It's you either win or you're out. And it's unfair to him. They should have extended him or fire him, in my mind, and started over. Having said all of that, it doesn't really surprise me that Mike Zimmer is on a one-year contract, unless Jerry thought he's going to bring this guy in, and if something happens to McCarthy, he's already got his head coach in place in Mike Zimmer. But this is so typical Cowboy, RJ. It's so typical Cowboy because, look, everybody's going to be talking about this now. Michael Gelkin's article is going to be all over the place. And is it right? Is it wrong? And it's typical Jerry Jones. And that's what that's what the Cowboys like, after all. Is it all in? I don't know. I think they were all in last year, quite frankly.
It's only all in the way that you're a gambling man. You've had a low chip stack for a while, and the big blind came through, and now you're all in because you're just sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, the big blind forced you to be all in. You didn't go all in. I mean, it is the most lazy way that you could possibly kind of arrive at this place. And this is why I did not fawn over the Mike Zimmer hiring the way that all these Cowboys fans who began their coping before I have Everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know. This hire is awesome. This hire is amazing." No, this somewhat proves that they were just looking for a friend to hang out for a year. Hey, dude, we just need somebody to help us shuffle these chairs on the Titanic. Why don't you helicopter in and, you've got some experience, the blueprints of the boat. You know what I mean? You can help us figure this out. There's a line in here, Joe, in the article. It says short-term contracts are not necessarily a surprise following the 48-32 letdown, talking about the playoff loss to Green Bay. And this is an exact quote. Still, there is some resulting discomfort and unhappiness within the building. One person close to the situation said the sentiment extends deeper than the coaches, adding that little sense of commitment is felt anywhere. Now, there's going to be the hard ass, like, good, I want everyone, like, losing sleep at night, and I want them focused on work and delivering. But, like, this is not a functional way to run a franchise and have everybody being pissed off and malcontent all the time. It doesn't have to be this dramatic, but they find a way, and that is the most annoying thing to me.
Well, look, it is annoying, and it's just not a way to do business. The Cowboys are they do business this way. Poor Jason Garrett was left hung out to dry more times than not, and I don't understand it. And Cowboy fans, I have to give Cowboy fans a lot of credit because the optimism among Cowboy fans is off the chain. I sit across the desk from one every day who was thrilled with the Mike Zimmer hire.
He was coping like everybody else.
Talks himself into liking this. Mike McCarthy, he did so well with Dak Prescott that they didn't want to fire him. It's like, dude, please. Dak Prescott's been in the league for 8 years. If he needs a head coach to come in and fix his game, he needs to go flip burgers at Whataburger. I mean, seriously, he's a professional. And so I don't understand Cowboy fans to some extent, but I appreciate them on the other hand, if that makes any sense.
It's so silly. It really is. I mean, it is just, it's the person in your life who really always finds a way. Rudolph, your buddy Joe, says it really isn't that dramatic. Y'all make it dramatic. The Cowboys are the only person making this dramatic. Now, when we were in Vegas and the Mike Zimmer stuff was percolating and it was in the air, everything was in the air in Vegas. It was a weird time. But everybody said, "Oh, well, why are you so mad at the options, RJ? Who else can they get? McCarthy's on a 1-year deal. He's a lame duck, coach. What better can they do?" And my retort to that was always that they can fix that. They don't get to complain about McCarthy being on a 1-year deal or in the final year of his contract because they hold the power to change that. And if you fall for that, if you're that ridiculous to fall for that, then I got some beachfront property all over the place to sell to you because to manipulate the situation in your mind, Joe, and contort it to the place that you're defending the team in this respect is going too far. They set this up. They made it dramatic by giving Mike Zimmer a 1-year deal. He's a friend. He's an alum of the organization. Why not give him a 2-year deal? Why not put this situation to bed? Why not, disrupt any kind of would-be drama by taking care of him? Because at the end of the day, it's just money. Coach salaries do not count against the salary cap. And if you want to fire him, you just pay him the money. They're the wealthiest team in the NFL, in the world. They could have done that if they wanted to, but they're addicted to the drama.
Well, they're addicted to the drama, RJ. That's true. But Jerry Jones is also addicted to money, and he obviously doesn't like paying contracts by firing guys. I mean, he doesn't like to do that. I think that's pretty obvious. We talked about Jason Garrett. Now, Mike McCarthy on a 1-year deal now. He doesn't want to extend this guy and then whack him after the season after the Cowboys either don't make the playoffs or they fail in the first round again. Mike McCarthy's time in Dallas, unless something extraordinary happens, is gone. He's done. So why not just do that now, start over, get a new administration in there or a coaching staff, and start over if you're really going to go all in. Mike Vrabel was sitting around out there. I don't know why this guy didn't get a look. Maybe there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about. But there were some good coaching candidates out there. I was never a big believer in the Bill Belichick thing. I think he's washed, and I think he's done. So that would have been a disappointment to me had the Cowboys brought him in. But what they're doing to Mike McCarthy this year is just completely unfair in my mind. And just start over. If that's what you're going to do, if you're going to go all in, you've got a foundation there in Dallas with some good players. So why not start over, start fresh with a coaching staff that has some fresh ideas and can maybe do something different with this team that Mike McCarthy has not been able to do?
They found a new place they wanted to live. They could have just moved out and bought out the remaining time on their lease because they can afford it. If anybody can do that, it's them. But they're stuck keeping us all with them in this apartment that nobody wants to be in. It's cramped. It doesn't work. The sun rises in the wrong way. We just hate everything about it, and we're trapped here with them, Joe. But while the coaching staff may all be, essentially on a one-year deal, Dak Prescott is for now, but that could change soon enough. Spotrac has a prediction on what his would-be contract extension that isn't guaranteed could look like, and the numbers are going to piss you off more than they did Joe Reinagle. We'll dive into them next on the Morning Huddle right after this break.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, they're doing some good things over at UTSA. Athletic Director Lisa Campos will join us to tell us all about it.
Plus, John McClain will join us talking Houston Texans in the NFL Combine. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get to Twin Peaks for their beer-battered fish and chips. This beer-battered cod is served with house-made tartar, malt vinegar, and french fries, and score them along with a 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for just $12. That's every Friday through Easter. Twin Peaks!
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at MrElectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Progressive knows we're all trying to save right now.
Hey, at least we're still enjoying baseball on a Saturday night, right?
Even if it is T-ball.
Yeah, but tickets to the majors are just so expensive now. And who knows, maybe we're seeing a pro in the making.
Sure, in like 20 years. How is he safe? Boo! This ump stinks!
The ump is only 14. We don't really do that.
Oh, my bad. You're doing a great job, ump.
Progressive offers you savings without sacrifice. So save big when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening this Saturday, where you can get 1 to 4 acres in the waterfront community starting at $49.9. That's 1 to 4 acres starting at $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Dr. Zimmer.
implants. I had missing teeth. I had crowns. I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minnick. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I just saw a tweet from Joe Reinagle that is going to piss some people off. But we will get into it in about 25 minutes. It's Silver and Black, so don't go anywhere.
Don't get me up this early, RJ. Don't get me up this early, man. And already people getting under my skin with these ridiculous tweets.
It was kind of an interesting tweet, and that like reading it started off like, okay, I think Joe's about to, kind of wrap everybody up in a hug right here, and then boom, brought out the knife and just so Joe
just speaking the truth, my friend. Speaking the truth.
So, well, let's hear that truth. We mentioned it, Spotrac, which does an incredible job of calculating and tabulating and chronicling all salary information, not just relative to the NFL, but to all sports. They did a series or a sequence of contract and extension predictions for various players across the NFL. And as we full well know, Joe, Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is up for a potential extension this offseason. Now, Michael Gelkin detailed in his article that we've been talking about that is not a given, so it could not happen. But if it does, Spotrac is suggesting that it could be a 3-year extension with a 4th year, a void year, a dummy year that just exists for salary cap manipulation purposes. But a 3-year deal worth $180 million, $66 million per year for Rain Dakota Prescott. Your thoughts?
And what, 120 of that is guaranteed, I think. It
just
could
about,
be
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a big signing bonus and all of that to get him under the cap. Look, that's about what we expected. And as much as I think that is, again, self-inflicted wound by the Dallas Cowboys to have to pay Dak Prescott the money that they're making, and the argument that I get, RJ, and I guess I have to respect people that give this argument. Because I hear it again and again from people I respect. We talked to Todd Archer the other day on the Blitz, and well, the Cowboys have won 12 games for 3 years in a row. I mean, that's all great. I would rather them win 8 games a year and then do something in the playoffs. That's when the bright lights shine. That's when your quarterback earns his money. And to me, Dak hasn't earned it. But the Cowboys, depending on what they want to do at that all-in thing, if Jerry wants to do it, he almost has to give Dak an extension. However, it'd be the most Jerry thing in the world not to win and let him play on the final year of his deal.
There is kind of like you said, how you have to give credit to people who say that even though you disagree with it. It is my belief that the best thing the Cowboys can do is to extend Dak Prescott beyond just the fact that it offers them salary cap relief this year. However, given his age, not that he's old by any stretch, but given his age relative to the timeline of it all, and that, as we've been discussing, you could have an entirely new coaching staff a year from now, given those specific details in conjunction with one another, I have to be willing to tolerate the idea of not doing anything and a clean break next year in the name of a total and complete refresh. Because what would be a mistake to some degree is to have Dak Prescott obviously sign to an extension, which in a vacuum is not a mistake, but then dismiss Mike McCarthy, contract expired naturally at the end of the year, and then saddle your new head coach, whoever that is, with Dak Prescott. we haven't seen this team have a clean, full, brand new reset of a regime in terms of the most important people associated with it, the head coach, the quarterback, what would theoretically be the GM. We haven't seen them do that in a long time. I wrote an article a few weeks ago, Joe. So this is the third, I know we're talking about Dak Prescott, but third coach contract that Jerry Jones is going to see be fulfilled. You've talked about it. He let Jason Garrett go through a contract year twice. He didn't bring him back the second time, so he's letting Mike McCarthy do it. Jerry has not fired a head coach at the end of a season. So he hasn't looked at a coach after a season and had that coach with time left on their contract and fired them since Dave Campo. I mean, it was over 20 years ago. So this is a dude who really kind of does nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so all that said, I do think the best idea is still to extend him. And 3 years, $180 million is going to make people freak out and spit out their coffee. But it's the going rate. Like, if you're going to do it, those are numbers that full and well make sense.
What makes sense to me and what I liked about it was the length of the contract. If he's going to do it, and look, and we've talked about it, RJ, I'm resigned to the fact that the Cowboys should do it because they need to do it to stay relevant. And so they're able to add some pieces. So I like the length of it. Now, Jerry typically likes a longer contract. Dak would probably prefer a shorter contract, maybe get another deal once this is over. But I do like the length of it. So if they're going to do it, the numbers don't bother me as much, and I'm happy with the length. So if you're going to extend Dak, do the 3 years, and let's get on with it. And then go out and do something. If this is going to help your salary cap problem, then go out and do something. And signing CD Lamb, yeah, okay, whatever. Signing Micah Parsons, okay, whatever. You got a lot of holes to fill. Go fill them and get it done. Don't sign those three guys and have them as your foundation and then, just parts and pieces and just make it work to get down the road for this year. If you're going to go all in and get something done. Jerry can afford to do that. The hell with the salary cap. Go out and get it done.
I talked about this yesterday. We're already seeing the walking back. I wouldn't say the walking back, but when you were a kid, you ever have one of those like silly cans, like you open it and the streamers pop out, you know what I'm talking about? Like you're like, hey, open this, and then boom, like everything pops up and somebody freaks out. So Jerry is the person who opens it and then laughs at everybody. Right? Like, ha, Joe, that was funny. And then he just walks away. And Steven's walking around the room and like picking up the little streamer things and putting them back in the can. He's like, oh yeah, Jerry really likes this toy. You know what I mean? And so Steven, this week he was asked about the all-in thing and said, well, I think we're kind of all in every year. Like we're seeing them walk this back already. The new league year begins less than 2 weeks from today. It begins in official capacity 2 weeks from yesterday. So 2 weeks from now, we will have an objective answer as to whether or not they have gone all in. And these are words that Jerry said. He opened. This isn't something we designed, Joe. We're not, stirring the pot. We weren't hunting for, a narrative. Jerry, of his own accord, of his own conscious admission, said, we're going to be all in. He opened himself for scrutiny here. So if the Cowboys are not active in free agency, they have, earned the right to have everybody point the finger and scream at them. Do you know that last year they were the last team, as in the 32nd team in a league with 32, to sign a veteran free agent? Now, I'll give them credit. They did trade for Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, so those weren't technically signings, but they were veteran players. But they were the last team in the NFL to sign a veteran free agent. That cannot be the case. You have to utilize that avenue of team building.
Look, you have to, and the Cowboys typically aren't players in the free agent market, right? That's their history, and that's their MO. I think this year they've got to be. Look, Cowboy fan, we've already talked about the respect that I have for them because you get kicked in the package and you just keep coming back for more, and that's kind of the Cowboys' way. It's the way that it is. So. This year, you got to give Cowboy fans some kind of bone to gnaw on, right? We're going to go out, we're going to get this guy, and we're going to fill this hole. And you can't necessarily do that in the draft and expect the team to be championship ready to go. The NFC is going to be much better this year overall than it was last year. I don't think there's any question about that. You see the Green Bay Packers coming on. There's some other teams that are going to be coming on as well. And I just don't think it's going to be as easy this year as it was last year. So if Jerry's serious, and I'm not sure if Jerry's ever serious, but I think you've got to give Cowboy fans something to gnaw on, something to give them hope, because as this team sits right now, in my mind, they are not as good as they were last year. And they've got so many holes to fill that it's going to be difficult. But you go out and you sign a big guy, sign a big name, and say, hey, Cowboy fan, here we're doing what we can. Here it is. And at least give some, give me a bone to gnaw on for the season.
Well, it's not a bone. What Jerry's doing is like when you take your dog and you split a treat in half and you're like, I got you too. It's like right. the dog's
Good
thinking
point.
like, man, this is just one. Like, you relax. I like this comment from Hunter Hitch in the Brigade Bar. It says, we're going all in is written on the lid of Pandora's box. And you mentioned the big time free agent. Sometimes, Joe, a team goes out, they get the big time free agent, the big time wide receiver, and you think, oh, this is a match made in heaven. It's totally going to work out. And then turns out he may or may not have snitched on your game plan and told opposing teams what you were going to do. That may have happened in the NFL. We'll tell you who, what, where, when, and why right after this here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, it's the Callaway Fitting Event happening February 19th through March 3rd. The new Callaway AI Smoke Driver has smart face technology with multiple sweet spots across the face. To reserve your custom fitting by Callaway representatives, swing into your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or book online at worldwidegolfshops.com. Get there.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Castrol Edge can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $36.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Due to phenomenal demand, the tour continues. Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2024. Live in San Antonio. Frost Bank Center, September 24th. With special guest, Allison Russell. Get tickets this Thursday at noon at Ticketmaster.com. The new album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit Hosier.com.
Tonight at 8:30, it's the Heat and Nuggets. The NBA lives on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Joe, is there anybody in your life who would say that you're a snitch?
I would say no.
Sure?
Not that I may have snitched a time or two throughout my life, but I don't consider myself a snitch. No.
I don't think any snitch considers themselves a snitch except for the golden one in the Harry Potter universe. But Mecole Hardman of the New York Jets isn't exactly being called a snitch. But there's a lot of people doing a lot of if it looks like a snitch and it snitches like a snitch, type of stuff. There was a tweet that dropped on Wednesday from Connor Hughes of SNY in the aftermath of some confusion. Connor did his best to kind of clear up the situation. He said, "Yes, I'm told there was validated belief from the Jets that wide receiver Mecole Hardman, frustrated by his lack of usage, leaked game plans to the opposition as implied by several players, Sauce Gardner and Kenny Yeboah. Not just the Eagles game, but also the Chiefs." Now, Joe, the Jets beat the Eagles, so if Mecole Hardman leaked the game plan to them, he didn't do a very good job of it. Either that or Nick Sirianni's crew is just that bad. But holy crap,
that bad.
It's kind of a big deal.
Well, it is. And I wonder if this doesn't go on more than we know. And this may have just gone on and been so egregious, if it's true, that the players felt like they had to come out and say something, or it's just a slow time in the NFL and we need a story. The fact that the Eagles lost that game, if they indeed knew the game plan, Zach Wilson had one of his best games, if not the best game of the season against the Eagles. The Eagles were just a clown show. I mean, let's face it, they turned into that big time. I don't know if this is true. It just seems really far-fetched to me. And if you're talking about game plan, what did he leak? We're going to run the game. I mean, I don't know what he leaked. Did he get the papers and fax it to him or send an email with an attachment? I have a hard time with this one, RJ.
I don't know Mecole Hardman, all right, but it kind of seems like he is really enjoying the fact that he is a part of the world champion Chiefs and not a part of the Jets. And he hasn't been that quiet about it, and Jets players may be getting a little frustrated by it. He chose to sign with the Jets. Mecole Hardman did in free agency. And then he went on the pivot, and he complained all about it, about the culture and blah, blah. And all that just happened to be coincidental, Joe, with the fact that he got beat out and wasn't being used a lot by the Jets. Now, he said on the show with Ryan Clark that he told the Chiefs to come get him, and then later denied that there was any sort of tampering negotiations and blah, blah, blah. Again, it's easy to be Mecole Hardman and say whatever you want when you caught the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl, although he didn't know that they won the game when he caught it. But this just kind of it's one of those things where, like, a lot of people who have been in this situation before have been a lot more quiet about this than Mecole Hardman hasn't been too shy with his return to prominence with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I could see that being a little bit of an upsetting thing if you're a Jets player.
Well, look, RJ, I mean, sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side, right? And Hardman got to the Jets and saw what a disaster they are. And, I mean, and said, man, what the heck did I do? I mean, I enjoy the money. That's great. But, I mean, man, get me out of here. And then maybe he rubbed some of the players the wrong way. I have a hard time buying that he sent the game plan to the Eagles and the Chiefs. Didn't do the Eagles any good at all. And I just don't I think there's some sour grapes going on here is what I think.
I just enjoy the fact that the Eagles allegedly had some sort of advantage against the Jets of all teams who you seemingly wouldn't need it against and still lost. And that's because they did have Big Dom available for that game. The Eagles did. So who knows what the true issue was. Mecole Hardman, good luck in the NFL. That's all I'll say. If people believe this
Exactly.
about you, because I'm with you. I don't know that there's any real state secrets, but look, Sauce Gardner carries an opinion that is legitimate enough to where if he's saying that Mecole leaked something that he's not supposed to leak, you and I can laugh at the potential seriousness of that or not. But if it's upsetting Sauce Gardner, it's seemingly legitimate enough, I think, to constitute a raising of the eyebrow, which is, I think, an appropriate reaction to all of this.
Well, sure. And I like to raise my eyebrows just like the other guy. But, I mean, if you needed somebody to leak a game plan to beat the Jets this year, you were pretty pathetic. I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, the Jets, they were awful. And so if that's what teams needed to beat you guys, then Sauce, you have every right to be upset.
Also, why leak them to the Eagles? I mean, I understand the Chiefs, right? Like, you were just with them and those are your boys and everything like that. But what do you owe the Eagles?
Well, didn't he played for the Eagles, didn't he, at one point in time? No? No, I thought he did. Okay, well,
but
maybe
he
he
did go
wants
to
to play
Georgia,
for the Eagles,
and they have all the Georgia Bulldogs. So it is what it is. It is just about 7:00, which means it's time for Silver and Black. And not only did Joe Reinagle piss off a lot of Spurs fans with a video on Twitter this week, but he just had a tweet that is going to piss you off even more. The Spurs are back from the Rodeo Road Trip. They host the Thunder tonight. Is win number 12 around the bend? Well, probably not. But we're going to see so. We'll be back after this with Silver and Black, the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, they're doing some good things over at UTSA. Athletic Director Lisa Campos will join us to tell us all about it.
Plus, John McClain will join us talking Houston Texans in the NFL Combine. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hop on over to Family Dollar for everything Easter this year. Find great buys on pre-filled Easter baskets or craft your own with a variety of plushes, candies, and toys. Only at Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Hey, hoop heads, college hoops are heating up, and if you've got your eyes on the madness to come, I need you to register for the Dose Million Bracket Challenge today at Twin Peaks. Go lock in your chance to win $2 million and more epic prizes. Head over to TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com to get started.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This year, wouldn't it be great to stop dealing with thin, brittle, shedding hair and instead have the thick, healthy, gorgeous hair you've always wanted? Well, now you can by using Hair Volume from New Nordic. Hair Volume is the all-natural solution trusted by millions of women around the world to say goodbye to thin, brittle, shedding hair. Look for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens and CVS or online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens or CVS.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
College football has a 12-team playoff now, but according to Yahoo Sports, a 14-team one could be on the way. UTSA announced that they have an estimated $57 million that's headed towards facilities and capital projects for UTSA athletics. The Spurs are back in action tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Will they get a win? We're talking about it on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hello, aloha, buenos dias, konnichiwa. It is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rob Thompson out today. R to the J, Ochoa, right here with you alongside Well, the next James Bond in the 007 franchise, it is Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. Da-da, da-da! That's you, Joe.
I think that's accurate. Yes, I'm good with that. I hadn't thought about that, but I like that. I could play James Bond.
Well, you got
maybe I'll
time. I
take
mean, you
over
could shoot in the mornings and then do the Blitz in the afternoons. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, or take over for Tom Cruise and his Mission Impossible franchise. That's another
Are you a
one.
Mission Impossible guy? Have you seen all of them?
I really am. I like the Mission Impossible series. Yes, although
I've never seen one.
I was a little bit. Well, you should watch. I was a little bit bitter about the latest one that came out. It's a two-parter. So Tom Cruise is a genius, right? So the first movie, and it's really good, but it ends, but it doesn't end. Part 2 is coming. And so that was a little bit disappointing, but now I'm looking forward to the second one coming out. And that's why Tom Cruise just continues to make money, I guess.
You said he's a genius. I haven't been in the movie theater in forever, but when the new Top Gun, I guess it's not new anymore, but when the recent Top Gun came out and everybody was talking about it, I was like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. And then, when it was on Paramount or whatever, the wife and I, one night, we were like, oh, let's watch it. It's accessible now. At the end, I just sat there and I was just all, that movie was awesome. I mean, it was sick. Like, that was like a movie. You know what I mean? That was like a movie in the way movies used to be movies. Not every movie hits like that. So shout out to Tom Cruise. I guess he is a genius. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. He's a genius. The guy, he knows what he's doing. And it's on the same lines as a Sylvester Stallone. When you got something good, you stay with it. I mean, what are we up to? Rocky 85 and Rambo. I see there's a new Rambo coming out, for goodness sake. So, I mean, you got something good, you stick with it.
Joe, I saw a tweet this morning from our friend Jeff Garcia noting that odds makers are projecting Victor Wembanyama as a strong candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm about to pull some of these odds myself, but then I saw a tweet this morning from somebody who, like Tom Cruise, propelled down on a wire, and said, a rookie has never won this award. And unless something bad happens to Rudy Gobert, that trend will continue. This is a team game last time I checked, and the Spurs defensive stats stink. James Pledger did a video for us on Wednesday noting how Victor should be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year, but you say, no way, no hope, not going to happen, not under my watch. You don't think Wemby deserves any Defensive Player of the Year consideration?
No, I think he deserves consideration, but everybody, and God bless Spurs fans, RJ, because they got to have something to hang on to, and their rope is Victor Wembanyama, and I get it. I understand that. Look, I think the guy's going to win Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any question about that. But a rookie has never won Defensive Player of the Year. And whether you like it or not, it's the good old boys club in this respect that a rookie, that's why he didn't make the All-Star team. I mean, there's only one rookie that has ever done that. And it's just an unwritten rule in the NBA that rookies don't win awards like that. And whether you like that or not, it's absolutely true. And I'm already getting people firing stats at me like Wemby, when he's on the floor, the Spurs are 4th in defensive rating. They're 24th without him. Well, okay, and so what? They won 11 games. It really hasn't done you much good, even when he's on the floor and even when they're 4th in defensive rating. Doesn't matter. The guy was benched for a moment in the last game for making mistakes. He's a rookie. He'll get there. All of the accolades are coming, but I understand Spurs fans wanting to hang on to something, and the only thing that we have this year to hang on to is Victor Wembanyama. So if he loads up his trophy chest with a bunch of trophies, then I guess we could say, well, at least we have that.
Entering last night's games, Wemby had more blocks on this side of the All-Star break than any team combined. Again, this was prior to last night's games. The New York Knicks were in second place with 18 total blocks as a team. The Bucks, Lakers, Hornets all had 17. Wemby had 19. Obviously, the Spurs were off last night. I mentioned the odds just on the subject of Rookie of the Year. You are a gambling man. Wemby is minus 750 to take home Rookie of the Year honors. Chet Holmgren next at plus 550. So it is effectively a formality at this point. But if you are curious, as far as Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert is the favorite at minus 800. Wemby is next at plus 1,200. Jarrett Allen at plus 1,600. Bam is at plus 4,000. So this is what has really been my biggest gripe with the season is, and this has been an interesting and a trying week. Obviously, I think it's been a coddling week for some. That was the word that you tossed out on Monday.
Yes.
Is there is a legitimate, a fair, and objective argument that Wemby deserves Defensive Player of the Year, right? I think you would tolerate that. And I agree with you that all we have is Wemby, and we kind of need him to rack up all the individual awards so that we can tell ourselves we didn't just waste our time, right? Like the season had some significance. We can point to a trophy and say the season produced that, it yielded that, it ultimately resulted in this. That being said, I disagree with your opinion that this is a team sort of driven thing, but it is a team influence thing. And the reality of how bad the Spurs are is now going to hold Wemby back, not just from actually winning basketball games, but from being in consideration for things like this. I don't think it's unfair at all to say that the Spurs being so bad is a big reason that Wemby wasn't an all-star. If the Spurs were better, Wemby is likely on the team, because how can you deny his place and his role in what is happening? But everybody looks at the team and says, man, that Wemby dude, he's awesome. He's great. But golly, that team sucks. And it's just impossible to get over that narrative, even though he towers over it with his physical and game, sort of stature. So this is the team's fault. They are actually handicapping him as far as these potential accomplishments are concerned.
Look, I will just say this, and I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be a superstar and an anomaly in this league, and I think his time is coming. I look back to when LeBron James got into the league, and he played on a Cleveland Cavaliers team that was awful. He led that team. LeBron James single-handedly led that team to the NBA Finals. Now, granted, the East at that time was pretty weak. I will give him that. But he led that team to the finals. They were awful. They got swept by the Spurs in the NBA Finals. So I think Wemby is great. He's putting up some great stats, but he's not uplifting this team anywhere. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. I think he's getting used to the NBA. I think, all of these things that he's finally starting to do. And I think Pop waited too long to start imposing some accountability, which he's doing now. Keldon Johnson benched in a game, and then Wemby had to sit down. So I think it's too late, though. And I wish Pop would have started doing this back in late December, January, and holding these guys accountable, and I think maybe that helps a little bit. But when I look at what great players can do, like a LeBron James leading his team and carrying that team to the NBA Finals, and then I see Wemby coming into this, and again, it's different scenarios, but 11 wins versus 22 last year. So all of these things I've got to take in consideration if I'm voting for anything with Victor Wembanyama. The guy will win Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any question about that. And if he doesn't, then that's a travesty. But Defensive Player of the Year, it's never happened. Those are just facts. That's not Joe saying he shouldn't because he's a rookie. Those are just facts. It doesn't happen. And so I don't think it's going to happen this year unless something crazy happens down the stretch in the final, 25, 27 games we have left.
I don't think you're saying that him being a rookie should preclude him from winning Rookie of the Year. You're just saying it's another layer of odds stacked against him. No pun intended as it relates to odds here. But all that being said, I mean, goodness, dude, this team, you talked about it on what day are we at? On Tuesday night, they benched Wemby and they benched Jeremy. And the stuff, like, this is so hollow to me. It is so meaningless to do it now. To be like, oh, Keldon, we're yanking you. We talked about it on Monday. Oh, Wemby, we're yanking you. Oh, Jeremy. And then you got to put Wemby in because without him, I mean, you're just a total joke at this point in time. And so nobody is taking that seriously. Nobody on the team saw you pull Wemby and Jeremy on Tuesday night and said, oh man, we better get our act together. Like literally nobody feels that way. It is such an empty calorie kind of thing. You went 1-8 on the Rodeo Road Trip. You are maybe the worst team in the NBA. You are definitely the worst team in the NBA, if not for Wemby's presence on your roster, something you lucked into. And so there's a lot of people, Joe, right now. We had a video that we posted of you talking about how Pop has coddled the Spurs this year. I think Spurs fans are coddling the team. Spurs fans are really afraid to admit that they might be bad. I mean, that it might not be all part of some grand master plan, that this isn't just, step 2 in a 100-step process. There's a lot of people who are having a difficult time reckoning with the reality that this is a really bad basketball team.
Well, thank God for Detroit and Washington. Or this,
we're not far off, man. I mean, I wouldn't point fingers right now. It's
exactly, but at least we have those two teams to point to that are worse than the Spurs. So that's a good thing in my mind. Look, I think this team has been mishandled the entire year. I do. I think they've been mishandled. And I know what everybody's going to say. Look, and I agree with it to some extent. Look, I was the only one that said they're not going to go over the win total of 29.5. Everybody had this team a possible play-in team this year. I knew it would take Wemby some time to get used to the NBA because no matter what league he was playing in,
has it taken him time? I mean, like he's awesome.
I mean, but he's taken him time.
He's a serviceable piece at this point. Like he's not still, learning how to walk. Like he's dominating in like with respect to the word dominating right now. He again, he's going to win Rookie of the Year, but he's past the point of evaluation as a rookie. He's
no question
a legitimate, borderline NBA superstar now. I mean, you're right. Like there's growth and development that will still happen. That goes without saying. But like I don't think he's hit any kind of rookie wall. Is maybe my point here.
Well, I don't think he's hit any rookie wall, but he's been mismanaged. And I think it did take him a month or two to get used to the NBA game because there were times, and it could be because that ridiculous Jeremy Sohan at point guard experiment was a disaster. And maybe that was part of it. But when you watch the Spurs early in the season, Wemby, you just watch him play. He looked lost in a lot of games. He just looked lost, didn't exactly know what to do. But he has learned that. He's picked up the game. He's a smart basketball player, very smart basketball player, and he gets it now. And I can't wait for him to go into an offseason with all of that. Obviously, he's going to play a lot of basketball this summer for France, but he's going to get better and better and better. And look, I'm not trying to be this downer guy when it comes to Wemby because that's all Spurs fans have to hold on to, and they're holding on tight, trust me. But it's just a fact. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Be happy for the kid. If he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, is it a disaster? I mean, people are acting like it's some kind of, just earthquakes and volcanoes and stuff is going to happen if he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year. I just don't understand why that is so important to Spurs fans.
Okay, a couple of quick things here. One, what is a bigger point of frustration for you? That they won't hit the over on their projected win total? I won't go playoff team because that's a little bit too much. But so what was you said 29.5?
By the way, so I'm clearly going to win. So I'm good with that.
I know, but so you're happy individually. But what is a bigger disappointment? That they failed to hit the over on that, or that Wemby isn't in proper Defensive Player of the Year consideration? What frustrates you more?
Well, none of it frustrates me. What frustrates me is how I believe this season was mishandled. And Greg Popovich is to blame for that. I love Greg Popovich. I've got a lot of respect for Greg Popovich. There's no question about it. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. But that Jeremy Sohan experiment at point guard was a disaster. I think everybody agrees with that. And the way that they've come into this season with nothing but youngsters, nothing but players that just were lost. All of them seemed lost and didn't know how to play with this phenomenon of a player. And that has to go squarely on the head coach and the management of the Spurs team. And I think Wemby's rookie year has been severely mishandled.
It's been wasted in a lot of ways. I mean, it's just we've actually wasted time. So you have put a lot of this blame on Pop's shoulders. James says in the Brigade Bar, Pop is wise. First half brought them along slowly. Second, starting to get on them. Winning streaks coming soon.
When is that? Like next year?
Coog says Spurs fans are delusional in thinking there's a bigger picture behind this regression. And there are so many people, Joe, who, and it's a unique thing because sports are more fun when we're rooting, when we're positive, right? Like in a perfect world, like your team wins and you get to experience the joy associated with that. But so everybody wants to, believe the positive thing because it's the easier truth to be true. And so a lot of people are holding on to this hope when literally all evidence is suggesting, not even suggesting, but outright proving that is not the case. This isn't this. They didn't get in the lab, Joe, and say, okay, we're gonna do this, and yeah, we're gonna lose, and it's gonna be all part of it, and this and that. No, the plans didn't work. The Jeremy plan failed. I mean, the plan to be loose with it all failed, and now the institute some level of accountability, if you want to call it that, isn't taking either. They are. The reality is they are not that good at this anymore, at least in our current moment in time. And they are holding Wemby back from, I'm not saying that they could have even hit the over on 29.5 wins, but they could have been a better team if not for a lot of things that they are responsible for.
Well, they're responsible for all of it. I just think it's been bad. What I just don't understand, or maybe I do understand it, with the disaster of a year that it has been, 11 games, I don't know how many they'll end up winning, maybe 15 if we're lucky. But with the disaster of the season that it has been, Spurs fans just are holding on so tight to individual awards for Victor Wembanyama that if that doesn't happen, then they're going to go into a depression in the summer and just be horrible. And all I'm saying is, look, don't get your hopes up for Defensive Player of the Year because it's never happened. Maybe this will be the exception to the rule. Maybe Wemby, and they decide that, well, we'll throw the Spurs a bone and give him the Defensive Player of the Year. The guy is a great defensive player. He's 7'4". Not to expect him to have 5 blocks a game, I think is silly. He should. I mean, he towers over everybody. But I don't know why Spurs fans are hanging on so tight to that. And James Pledger's probably holding on the tightest. That guy, we were arguing the other day. And it's like, dude, it's going to be okay if he doesn't win. It's going to be okay. Life will go on and everything will be fine. And Wemby's going to get his trophy chest filled before his career is over. There's no doubt about it. But if it doesn't happen this year, guess what? The sun's going to come out tomorrow. It will be okay.
When his career is over, there will be, I don't know, 4 or 5 Defensive Player of the Years in all likelihood. And you're right. It's extraordinarily unlikely that there will not be, or extraordinarily unlikely that a 2024, inscription will be on one of the trophies, just based on the context of it all. And the fact that he's so close is a testament to his own individual abilities and skills and accomplishments, et cetera, et cetera. But you do need some team success. I mean, you have to, even though it's an individual award, you have to have some team success to be able to stand on top of in these conversations. And unfortunately, he doesn't have that right now. The Spurs are back from the Rodeo Road Trip. Joe, they host the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. They are double-digit point underdogs.
Of course they are.
I mean, there's no way to conceive of this going positively for them. This just feels like, oh, signing up for more, like, how long will it take for it to be a double-digit deficit? I'd say by halfway through the second.
Well, depending, right? I mean, we got this big matchup, Chet against Wemby tonight, and that will be fun to watch, I think. Look, the good news is, some positivity here. The Spurs have covered the spread in their last 3 games, RJ. They've covered the spread. So if I'm a betting man, which I am, Spurs are getting 10.5 points, and I may actually lay some money on the Spurs tonight. I mean, my goodness, they're covering the spread. Let's be positive about this. And they played Sacramento really well. They played the Lakers really well. They stunk up the place against Minnesota. That game was not even near as close as the final score indicated. And Pop finally doing something about it, I think, is good, although I think it's too late. But they're covering the spread, RJ. So I think there's a positive for all you Spurs fans out there that think I'm a Debbie Downer. They're covering the spread. Yeah. Is there a trophy for that?
I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer for you, but they have not done a great job of covering the spread as of late, in a general sense. You mentioned it, but in their last 10 games, they are 4-6 against the spread. So they're not even 500. Do you know what their record is against the spread all season long? They're 11-48 in the record that matters.
I don't know what the answer is. I just know the last three. They're on a 3-game covering the spread win streak, RJ. I'm trying to stay positive here. I'm getting accused of being a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to be positive. They've covered the spread. They're on a 3-game winning streak for covering the spread.
That's true, but they are 27-31-1 against the spread this year. So, again, not a reliable team in that sense. But you're right. They covered against the Lakers, against the Jazz, against the T-Wolves. And double digits is, there's a lot of garbage time points that can come in. And, those all count the same. Pledge heard you say that he's holding on tighter than anybody else, and he says in the Brigade Bar, Wemby lived up to those expectations and exceeded them in most cases. It's unreal how bad the team is despite that fact. That was the other thing that I was getting tweeted at all, day long in response to that video was like, oh, man, well, Wemby's so great. How do you not give them credit for that? I don't give them credit at all for this. Like, you mean the generational prospect is a generational talent? You know what I mean? Like, what a weird, result that is. And that they have 11 wins to show for all that is embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's representative of how actually little they have done. It's like, they got a great steak, to work with, and they didn't make any sides. And that's a fine meal, but you got to have balance in your life.
Absolutely. It's a lot of things when you look at the season. First of all, I think it was mismanagement completely. Secondly, then, and still continues to be in my mind, because you've got players that Devin Vassell, to his credit, I think has finally seen the light, and he knows that he's got a big time 7'4" guy that's a generational talent, and that he's going to play with him, and he's going to include him in what they're doing. So that's nice. Now, everybody else needs to understand that as well. You still see videos of Victor Wembanyama running down the floor wide open. An alley-oop bucket is right there, and guys are dishing it out to the side and taking a three-point shot and clanking it off the rim. That's that kind of stuff that's coaching, is it not? And maybe Pop has told them that, and they're still just not doing it. But again, this season is
bench those dudes. You know what I'm saying?
You got to play somebody. Unfortunately, you got to play somebody. So, look, it's just been a disaster this year. And all I'm saying is, and I get it, Spurs fans want to hang on to something, and so they can, at the end of the year, say, well, at least Wemby won Defensive Player of the Year. At least he won Rookie of the Year. We're going to hold on to that. He's great. Yeehaw. Let's go into next season. All I'm saying is, look, it's never happened before. Maybe it happens this year. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, we're going to go into next season, hopefully, with a much better outlook and a much better talented team that Wemby can thrive into. And so just don't hold on so tight to Defensive Player of the Year and think it's a disaster if he doesn't win it.
It is Silver and Black. We do it every single day here on the Morning Huddle at 7 a.m. If you miss it live, you can always catch the audio vault version, the ABS Bail Bonds audio vault at sasportstar.com. Also head to the SA Sports Star YouTube channel. Subscribe, like the video, turn on the notifications. You can watch it there. There's a lot of people who are both Spurs and Cowboys fans, and they are down bad, and they're going to be down a little bit worse because of, we'll get into it on the other side of this break here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials. There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning and see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-hour smile is a permanent full mouth teeth. It will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-hour smile. Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze air mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze air mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaren.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan, depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Tonight at 8:30, it's the Heat and Nuggets. The NBA lives on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello. Good morning, Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Arjo Joe. He is Joe Reinagle. She is Alexandra in the Brigade Bar. And Joe, she has a question for you. Who will win champion? Spurs or Cowboys with the thinking emoji?
Well, I would say the Spurs I would answer that. I still believe that with Wembanyama at the helm, if they build around him properly, I'm going with the Spurs on that one. I think the Cowboys blew their chance. Cowboys blew their chance this past season. I think they had a great opportunity.
Kind of like the Spurs as of late. Hear me out. I know that's a weird way to start a Cowboys comparison, but kind of like the Spurs as of late with how have you ever seen you strike me as a big meme person, Joe, in your personal life? Big meme guy?
Not really, but every now and then I'll throw in a meme just to so I can be like all the other kids.
There's a really popular meme of like a drawing of a man leaning back in his chair playing a video game. And then it shows him like sitting up, like when he's taking the game seriously. It's like, when something's happening in the game, you're like, okay, well, I got to focus now. And you sit up, you know what I mean? You kind of lean forward with the control in your hands. You're like, I know you play a lot of video games, so you know that, feeling full well.
Sure, yeah.
And so that meme describes Pop as of late with like, okay, well, Keldon, we got to bench you. Wemby, Jeremy, we got to bench y'all. We're going to start taking things seriously, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, we don't. It's dude, it's March. You know what I mean? Like we don't care. Anyway, in a similar way, the Cowboys are kind of doing that relative to, I guess, accountability. There was an article that came out last night from Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, where he noted that the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff in earnest could all effectively be in a contract year with the team. The opening line reads, the Cowboys did not plan for a season in which their entire coaching staff and franchise quarterback would be in the final year of their contracts, but that scenario is a distinct possibility. I would push back at that, Joe, and say, how did they not plan for this when they designed the contracts? You know what I mean? This is this was literally only planned by them. But Gelkin goes on to let us know, because we did not, that Mike Zimmer is on a 1-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys, which puts him on the same expiration date as Mike McCarthy.
Which on the face of it makes sense to me, right? If your head coach is on a well, I mean, if your head coach is on a 1-year deal, why wouldn't your defensive coordinator be on a 1-year deal? Because if Mike McCarthy gets fired, you bring in a new head coach, he's probably going to want his own defensive coordinator, I would assume, and that might not be Mike Zimmer. Jerry doesn't like to pay people for not working. I mean, he doesn't. We've seen that with Jason Garrett, how he played on the final year of his contract. And I think the only coach in recent history, or if ever under the Jerry Jones administration, you correct me if I'm wrong, RJ, is Wade Phillips, who was fired midseason. Other than that, everybody has gone and concluded their obligation to the Cowboys before getting axed.
They have fired a coach at the end of a season prior to a contract running out, but not Wade is the only one who they fired mid-season, to your point. So there's just those distinctions. But for the most part, in terms of recent history, the Cowboys have let coaches run through their contracts. That's why you can't say that they would fire Mike McCarthy, because they wouldn't. They would just not sign him to a new contract, right? It would just be, it expired. It's technically, they have been very firm in that in the last now 5 years, that they did not fire Jason Garrett, because in a technical sense, they didn't. They just didn't bring him back. This is dumb. This is why I don't have a problem with Mike Zimmer, but why would you agree to this? Like, why would you show up and say, yeah, I'll do a 1-year deal? And you know why? Because what he talked about in his opening press conference, he has family in Dallas. Like, it's convenient, it's comfortable, it's familiar. And that's why they were never going to be able to get somebody legitimate. No offense, once again, to Mike Zimmer here. And everybody told me, oh man, well, how do you expect them to with Mike McCarthy in a contract year? That's their fault. They hold the power to change that. They literally could change that in a moment's notice if they wanted to, but they won't. And so now, and you know this, anytime anything happens, and it was the same sort of way a couple of years ago when Sean Payton was lurking and was doing his Fox Sports thing, if you mentioned earlier, if the Cowboys are 4-4 to start the season, not if they're 1-2, if they're 1-1, it's going to be, well, Bill Belichick's available, Mike Vrabel's available, Ben Johnson could be the guy next year. I mean, I feel badly for Mike McCarthy, and I recognize that there are not a lot of people who are going to be in that boat. I kind of feel for Mike Zimmer, although he signed up for this clown show with signing the 1-year deal, very, very recently. But this is just, it does not have to be this dramatic. It doesn't. There's nothing that says you have to be this ridiculous with the way you go about this whole process, but they do it every single time.
Well, they do, and that's just how they operate. But look, I've said it before. I thought it's very unfair to Mike McCarthy that he's in this situation. I think you either fire the guy or you extend the guy. I mean, how in the world can Mike McCarthy go into this season with what he's looking at, especially? I mean, you're looking at your quarterback's up for an extension. Will he get that? If he gets it, okay, you've got some room to operate. If he doesn't, well, you're playing with a lame duck quarterback, and you don't know what in the world is going to happen there. You've got CD Lamb. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to sign him? That's another 30 minutes. My point is you're not going to have much room to operate under the salary cap. And you've got a ton of holes to fill. If you're paying Dak and CD and possibly Micah Parsons the money that they're going to command, you don't have a lot of room to operate. Their offensive line is a patchwork right now, depending on what happens. You've got Tyron Smith you've got to deal with. I think Zach Martin will probably restructure his contract. Running back situation, linebackers you need. You've got some stuff. So if I'm Mike McCarthy and I wake up this morning and I look at what I'm looking at, I'm begging Jerry Jones to just say, screw the salary cap. Let's go get some players. Let's go all in. If this is my last year, hey, let's go out with a bang and do something that the Cowboys aren't known to do. I don't see that happening, but there's always hope.
I don't see that happening either. We've already seen them start to walk back their, I wouldn't say they're all-in comments, but Jerry's all-in comments. Everybody who is a part of the Brain Trust saw Jerry say we're all in and said, we're gonna have to have a lot of sessions in front of cameras to try to put this toothpaste back in the tube. And we saw Steven try to do that. There's no way they're gonna be all in. They're gonna go at this the same way. And if and when they get these extensions done, they're gonna tell us that that's them being all in, that they're giving Dak $60 million a year if it ultimately winds up being that, if they're giving CD $30 million a year if it ultimately winds up being that, they're giving Micah $30 million a year, and that they have over $100 million per year, allocated to 3 players, and that is pretty all in. And it is in one sense that it is all in, but that's not the water that Jerry Jones led us all to gulp down when he mentioned that comment a month ago. Later in this article that Gunkin wrote on Wednesday, he noted that obviously Dak Prescott does need an extension, but that it's not a given. In fact, the final line was, an extension happening this year is far from a given. If you think, Joe, that there is drama right now with the Cowboys, if you think it's exhausting, if they don't extend Dak, and we'll have this answer in fewer than 2 weeks now, it is going to be endless. It is going to be drama city. If they don't extend Dak Prescott, we are in for the most volatile Dallas Cowboys football season in the entire drought era.
And that's great. I'm sure the Cowboys, because they all say the same thing, right? Can't imagine Dak not being here, or the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But Dak Prescott holds all the cards. He holds all the cards. If Dak Prescott, if they hand him a contract with $60 million a year, and Dak says, "No, you know what? I'm sick of this clown show. I'm going to play for what I've got right now, and we'll go into the season. We'll see what happens." Dak could easily do that. He did that before. He had the franchise tag to fall back on a couple of times, which he doesn't have this time. But Dak Prescott could say, "Screw your extension. I don't want it. I'm going to play. I'm under contract right now. This is what I've got. The hell with you." And he could do that. And we're all sitting here saying, well, Jerry, you got to extend Dak. You got to extend Dak. It's a two-way street at this point in time. Dak Prescott holds all the cards of whether he gets extended or not. And that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Dak could say, I want to reach the open market, because it's very, very, very rare that tried and true franchise quarterback hits the open market. And we're going to kind of see that with Kirk Cousins. Hitting, although he's coming off the Achilles injury, and that muddies the water a little bit. But Kirk is going to fetch $50 million a year coming off an Achilles and not being as efficient as Dak Prescott was last season. And so you're right. Dak is not afraid to bet on himself, and he could, put himself in a position to have a much higher payday and find himself on a fan base that doesn't hate him if he ultimately, pushes the envelope in that sense. So you have to overwhelm him, to your point, to get him to give that up. You have to give him a reason to give up, I know everybody says that a bird in hand is better than two in the bush, but in this case, the two aren't in the bush. The two are like, his hand is right there. You know what I mean? Like, he's got them more in grasp than the expression sort of suggests. Joe, we might have a snitch in the NFL.
Snitch?
Yeah. So what are you going to do to the snitch? We're going to find out exactly what Joe's going to do to Mecole Hardman when we get back from this break here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, they're doing some good things over at UTSA. Athletic Director Lisa Campos will join us to tell us all about it.
Plus, John McClain will join us talking Houston Texans in the NFL Combine. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You're going to do your strip club DJ. Introduce whoever you feel.
High C to the side say.
High C?
Yeah, she had 9 feet of legs. And that C was high. I'm not proud.
We get it.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Is the IRS making you feel anxious? Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief specialize in problems like yours, and they're ready to negotiate your fresh start. Don't go another year fearing the IRS. Allies Tax Relief will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. You only pay if you qualify for their services, so why wait? Call 800-280-4184 today. That's 800-280-4184.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yo! How you been? This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle here with me. I'm RJ Ochoa. Joe, you are not a snitch. Somebody asked me that, say, hey, is that Joe guy, that Reinagle cat, he a snitch? I'd say, hell no. I'd say it like that. You know what I mean? I'd have your back.
You would say that even before they got it out. Joe Reinagle, hell no.
Hell no. No way.
Of course not. Hell no.
My man Joe, he ain't no snitch. I don't know that Mecole Hardman's friends are saying it at least that vigorously about him today. There was I hate to call it a story and say, call it something that it isn't yet, but there was some accusations or some implications, some inferences that dropped all over the internet on Wednesday afternoon by way of Sauce Gardner, and then somewhat sort of kind of confirmed by Connor Hughes, who covers New York teams for SNY TV, effectively accusing Mecole Hardman of giving the Jets game plans, the team he was playing for at the time, to the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs, their opponents, as a result of being so frustrated with the Jets. It's kind of not cool. It's kind of a big no-no.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a no-no, but I'm trying to envision this and how he gave the Chiefs and the Eagles the game plan. Did he fax the playbook over? Did he attach it to an email and send it to somebody? I'm really not sure how he could have gotten this done. I have a hard time with this story, to be honest with you. Maybe he whispered and called up somebody. Maybe he called Jalen Hurts and said, hey, Jalen, they're going to blitz you on third down. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? The Eagles lost to the Jets because they were a clown show towards the end. Mm-hmm. And the Jets were horrible. And if you needed somebody to leak a playbook to beat the Jets, you're pretty pathetic. I have a hard time with this one, RJ, honestly.
It's kind of a situation where a wrong is a wrong. You know what I mean? I agree with you that what harm did it really cause, or could it really cause conceivably? It's impractical to believe that it was something legitimate. However, if the intent, that's kind of what, a jury would look at, right? What was your intent? Well, the intent was to harm, right? the intent was, look, I want us to lose. I want you to drag us. I'm mad at this team for benching me, for not evaluating me, for not caring for me, whatever. Mecole Hardman got traded to the Chiefs and was kind of bad for them. In fact, Mecole, if you recall, had the fumble through the end zone against Buffalo in a moment that could have lost them the game and made the Super Bowl win never even happen. But he did catch the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. And even though every Chiefs player swears that they knew and they were told that the game would be over in that moment and under those circumstances, he didn't know. He had to be told by Patrick Mahomes. So kind of feels like Mecole is really feeling himself after winning the Super Bowl once again with the Chiefs, and is kind of taking shots at his old team, which is at the very least a not cool thing to do.
Well, no, it's not a cool thing to do, but why not? What is he? He's got 3 rings now, doesn't he? Mecole Hardman. And so, a lot of guys don't have 1. So if I'm Mecole Hardman, why not? I take shots. I mean, guys do it all the time. Hell, Micah Parsons took shots at his own team after they lost to Green Bay. So, I mean, look, guys are going to do that. I don't know what I think there's some bad blood there. I think McCole Hardman went to the New York Jets and decided this is a disaster. I made a horrible mistake, and he rubbed some guys the wrong way, got out of there, got back with the Chiefs, and won another Super Bowl. And I think guys are just bitter. Did he snitch? I have a hard time buying it that he did it to an extent that was, harmful to anybody. But, it's just bad blood here. I really do. And they're making a mountain out of a molehill, which we're all very good at, RJ.
I think that you're being too light on Mecole because, again, if the chain of events here is Mecole signs with the Jets because they win the Super Bowl last year and he feels like, I'm good, peace out, I don't need to be a part of this, I'm better than y'all, I'm going to go play with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, the whole Jet season falls apart, he gets benched. There's also a story from ESPN because part of this is he was on Ryan Clark's and he gets benched for an undrafted free agent. And the Jets, by the way, Xavier Gibson had the incredible moment in week 1 where he won the game for the Jets by way of the return touchdown, obviously, which was super exhilarating and riveting. But so he was asked, Mecole, at one point in time to return punts, and he said no. He didn't want to do it. So, again, this is just kind of like nothing. There isn't any information that's come out here that's made me say, you know what, Mecole's right. So I'm definitely inclined to believe almost literally anybody else at this. Like Sauce Gardner's reputation in the NFL is pretty stout right now. So I'm definitely willing to give him much more of the benefit of the doubt. So, this feels like an unwritten rule. You're right. The harm that truly was caused is probably minimal at the absolute most. But still, if your goal was to tear down your team, that's, that would bother me. I have to imagine that would bother you.
Well, it bothers me that guys would come out and rip up their former teammates and say bad things about them. It bothers me when current players on a current team come out and rip up their team, and that bothers me a lot. But, Micah, he's Micah Parsons. He gets away with it. It's just Micah being Micah. So we're gonna rip on McCole Hardman because he may have leaked something out, which I don't agree with, by the way, and we're going to give him a hard time. But, Micah gets a pass, and it's going to be okay because he's Micah Parsons, and he's a Dallas Cowboy, and he can say whatever he wants, and that's okay, and we're not going to give him a hard time. But McCole Hardman, that's where we draw the line.
On the subject of people saying things, which is what we're literally doing right now, but did you see that Kendrick Perkins released his top players under the age of 25? Did you see this?
I did not. Kendrick, I like Kendrick because he's a get off my lawn kind of guy. So we're two of a kind.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to want Kendrick off of their lawn when we tell you where Kendrick had Victor Wembanyama on his list of top players under the age of 25. Was it 1? Was it 2? Was it 3? Was it 4? Was it 5? I sound like my son counting 5. That's how he does when he gets to 5. We're going to tell you all about that and a lot more when we come back. We'll see you soon here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
The Apostle Paul writes in a letter to the Ephesians, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." If there is anything human beings need, it is a shot of affirmation daily. The beautiful thing is that it's not all that difficult to do, and there are lots of ways of doing it, from compliments to encouragement. Just as an example, think for a minute of how something like affirmation can and would impact your spouse. When you affirm your spouse, it changes your attitude about them because you focused on something positive. You're looking at their strengths. At the same time, it strengthens those best qualities in them because you have brought them out into the light. Affirmation also affects the way people think about your spouse, from friends all the way down to your children. This is Mark Apsher in the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, hoping you take advantage of opportunities to affirm the people around you. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Castrol Edge can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $36.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Boost Mobile here to help you start from scratch. Boost is giving you the chance to win incredible prizes in our latest scratch-off sweepstakes, including up to $5,000 cash, with over 7,600 prizes up for grabs. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. For your chance to win, just head to your local participating Boost Mobile store and ask for a scratcher. It's that easy. So visit a Boost Mobile store today and get after it. Ends 3/31/24 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Other restrictions apply. Visit your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys could be in a position where all of their coaches and their quarterback are in a contract year in 2024. According to the Dallas Morning News' Michael Gelkin, the San Antonio Spurs are back from the Rodeo Road Trip. They host the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at the Crossbank Center. Will they get a win? We will see. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Top of the morning to you. Happy 8 o'clock. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. No Rob Thompson today. I am RJ Ochoa. He is Joe Reinagel. You hear his beautiful baritone voice every afternoon on the Blitz, and here right now on 94.1, that fantastic FM quality signal. And you can also see his bright, shining, beautiful face on the SA Sports Star YouTube channel, where you should be all the time. And you could presumably, let me know if I'm wrong, Joe, see his golf swing later on, not this month yet because of the whole leap day thing, but just about later on this month at our golf tournament, coming up. Get registered at sasportstar.com. You bringing the sticks, Joe?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to bring the sticks. And, I'm fortunate out there because, you guys will be doing your show out there, you and Rob, and then Minix and I will have to do our show at the after party. So we don't actually get to play. But what's cool about it is that we kind of ride around and say hello to everybody, and they let me hit shots. And so I appreciate that from all the golfers. That some of them say, they'll let you hit a shot here and a shot there. You hope it's a good one and you don't embarrass yourself. But, it's a lot
what we
of
should
fun.
do?
The golf tournament's fun.
We should find a hole or a spot. I don't know exactly what sector of your game you're most proud of. Let's just say it's off the tee. You know what I'm saying? We find a hole and we say Ryan Eagle hits the drive for everybody here. You know what I'm saying? So as everybody comes through, you're just hitting drive after drive after drive, and everybody's got to play your drive as it lies. I think that'd be fun. It'd be a lot of pressure on you.
Too. Well, it would be. It'd be a lot of pressure. Now, because, consistency could be an issue. I may hit 3, 4, 5 drives in a row pretty good, and then the next 5 might be, in the woods somewhere. That would be a problem. Sure, exactly. So you never know. But I think
you never know unless you're there. And the only way you can be there is you get registered, sasportstar.com, and Joe will either put you in the woods or on the fairway.
Well, sure, and that's what I do all the time, every day, either in the woods or right on the fairway. No, it's a lot of fun. You come out, you play with us. And the last check, RJ, I talked to Nick Trey, our promotions guy. He says, and this was a couple of days ago. That could very well have changed. We only had like 10 teams left. So we're that close to being sold out for this thing. So if you want to get in, you want to play, and you really should. If you played before, you know how much fun it is. If you haven't played before, it's a blast, and everybody has a great time. And so come on out and play with us.
Kendrick Perkins revealed his top 5 NBA players under 25 years old. Interesting point of demarcation, right? You're 26, get out of here. You're actually 25, get out of here. You got to be under the age of 25. Now, off the top of your head, Joe, just the top of that, that noggin of yours, where would Wemby be?
Under 25? Wow, at this point in time, I mean, no matter what I say, I'm going to get hammered, so it's okay. I would say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That would be my top pick.
Okay, but so Wemby would not be first for you then.
He wouldn't be. He'd be second right now.
Okay, so Shai is actually 25, so he barely misses being included.
Okay, all right.
You're good, and that's why he's not on this list. I was confirming his birth. He's actually going to be 26 in July. So.
Oh wow. Okay, so I thought he was a little bit younger than that.
He's old man. Yeah. So
he is old.
Well, I'll tell you, Wemby was not number 1 for Perk.
Okay,
that's already going to upset people. So it wasn't Shai. Number 1, Anthony Edwards is number 1.
Okay,
kind of hard to disagree. Kind of hard to argue. Ja Morant is number 2. And you could certainly take that number of different directions, obviously, but who he is as a basketball player, very, very undeniable selection. Wemby comes in at number 3. And you could make the argument here, like what would you want to build your team around, or what team needs are, or things like that. Although Wemby can obviously do everything. Again, this is Kendrick Perkins' list. Number 4, Tyrese Halliburton. Again, this is a really strong list. And number 5, Zion. Man, how far Zion's fallen. Like, we thought that was going to change the world. You know what I mean? And it didn't totally take. It's also kind of crazy that he's when is his birthday?
Did he just run out of options to put Zion in there? Now, Zion
is only 23. Wow.
If I'm in a hot dog eating contest, Zion's number 1. He's right up there. But the guy, man, I can't go as far as to call him a bust. But, I mean, he's just got weight issues. He's had problems, injury issues. I'm not sure. And then I love Ja Morant, and I get where he's coming from when the guy plays. Between suspensions and injuries, hasn't really played much this year. Hard to argue against Anthony Edwards And then Victor Wembanyama should be 1, too. But, yeah, I mean, it's a tough list to argue against. I don't like Zion Williamson being in the top 5. But the others, I really have no complaint.
I do think the word bust is really heavy, but I think you can say that Zion has underwhelmed relative to expectation, because the expectations were Wemby-like. Not every, number 1 overall pick carries the, I wouldn't say generational talent, but like the seismic, weight that Zion did, that Wemby has. And Zion, there hasn't ever really been like a moment, you know what I mean, that you've been like, that's the guy, like that's the dude from Duke. I mean, it's just, which is a shame, but he's still really young. So he still has a lot of time to get there. But yeah, I think the fact that Wemby's here now is really representative of obvious, and he hasn't even played an entire season. Anthony Edwards is only 22, just to be very clear here, and John Morant's exact age is he's 24. He's actually going to age out of this pretty soon. He'll be 25 in August, so he can barely squeak in right now. So, I mean, Wemby is going to be here for a while. I mean, having just turned 20. I think if you not extrapolated, but if you expanded the parameters here, you said, who are your top 5 players in the NBA that you just want on your team for the next decade? 25 or not. I don't know how Wemby's not in your top 2 at the very, like the floor for him at that point is 2. I mean, would you rather, if you could build an NBA team right now, would you take Anthony Edwards or John Morant over Wemby? Maybe you take Anthony, but Ja is fair to say no to for obvious reasons.
Well, look, I think Ja's going to come back. And when Ja's on the floor, can you name a much more exciting player than Ja Morant? I mean, it's hard to really get, find anybody that's more exciting. Look, I mean, obviously, with as young as Wemby is, with the promise that he has, with the things that we've seen him do, it'd be very difficult not to pick him if you had to start a team right now. Very difficult. So, yeah, I'd have to go with Wemby, I think, in that situation. But if I was stuck with, and I use that term lightly, a Ja Morant or an Anthony Edwards, I wouldn't be too upset. It's kind of like going into the draft, right, this past year. Everybody knew that the Spurs were going to pick Victor, right? But then you had the guys behind him, and you really don't hear a lot about those guys. Scoot Henderson was the other guy that, well, I mean, could you make a case to pick him instead of Wemby? And you really haven't heard anything from any of those guys. So Wemby is the real deal. The Spurs were fortunate again, and it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to not take him if I was starting a franchise, just because of what he can do and his potential.
Joe, you told me pre-show, you said you guys don't get a lot of breaking news here on the Morning Huddle. Well, we got Joe Reinagle in town, so we got a 3-note sting that I think we need, Edward. A little bit of breaking news, because we'll take what we can get around here. Just now, while you were speaking, and I was definitely listening, reported by Shams that the Atlanta Hawks are waiving Patty Mills. Hey, Joe.
How about that?
Bring him home. Why not? Tell me this is a bad idea and do it with a straight face, because you can't.
Yes. I can't do it with a straight face. I mean, why? Why do you do that? Now,
why? Because I'm looking for anything right now, Joe. I'm looking for anything right now. Bring Patty Mills home.
If Pop were smart, you'd say, hey, Patty, come and sit on the bench and help out the young guys. Bringing Patty Mills to the San Antonio Spurs would just, it'd be a tribute to him, perhaps, and just you're going to give him a job for the remainder of the season, but he's certainly not a future of this ball club.
No, but
you player.
This team's a mess, and you need somebody. You need some semblance of corporate knowledge. Bring him in and let him hang out for 2 months. That no harm can come from that. No, dude. No. I mean, like. Can it make things worse, Joe? Can it make things worse? No.
Nothing could be worse than what's happening right now. I love Patty Mills. Great, but I mean, he's at the end of his career. Bring him in if you want to bring him in, okay. Will it make a difference? No. Maybe they win a couple more games. That's possible, and it's positive. But I'm looking forward to the offseason with this team. I've resigned myself that this is a disaster. It's not going to get any better. Who's going to be on this team next year? Patty Mills won't, not as a player anyway. hey, but who knows? Maybe Pop adds him to the coaching staff, and I'd be all in for that.
Again, I'm not saying, oh, this is, starting point guard for next season, because I'm all in on Trae Young. I want a different Hawk for that. You know what I'm saying? But so that's the double benefit you get here. Hey, Patty, so what is Trae like? What kind of food do we need to have prepped in the cafeteria?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what, like that. It works in every single sense of the way. Plus, we were talking about this earlier. Spurs fans are looking for anything to hold on. This here, Joe, is a door to the past. All right, this is a door to the good times. This is a nostalgic bump, which this team is in dramatic need. In a serious sense, tell me that Wemby can, and not that Wemby has developed poorly in any way, but Wemby could totally benefit from having Patty Mills around. I know Tim and everything and all that. We've talked about it a million times, but like having him on the floor, having him on the court, there is a value to that. I think like it is a portal to the past, which is an important thing with this team specifically.
When it comes to that, RJ, you're absolutely right. And I think that's the one thing that Wemby's been missing is that teaching in the moment on the floor. I think that would be huge. And in that respect, sure. You think Patty would want to come back and play here? Perhaps he would. He's had, the best years of his career were in San Antonio. So, yeah. Why not? You got nothing to lose at this point in time. And when you put it like that, and I didn't think about it, and I give you all the credit in the world, to have him on the floor, to teach Wemby in the moment, I think would be valuable for the remainder of the season. That'd be fantastic.
Let's stick with this because it is a Bala game day after all. The Spurs hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. What an appropriate time for this to all happen. Should the Spurs bring Patty Mills home? We're going to talk about it on the other side of this break, but we want to know what you have to say. Let us know in the Brigade Bar. Let us know on Twitter. Joe is at Joe Reinagel 210. I am at RJ Ochoa. Or chime in on the Buyers Barricade phone line 210-656-3776-656 ESPN. Hey, look, I'm on 210 because I'm reminding Patty where he's from. Patty Mills, should he come back? We'll get into it next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Take steps to live a more sustainable lifestyle by investing in plastic-free food storage containers like silicone sandwich bags or beeswax wraps, which can replace the difficult-to-recycle single-use plastic wrap. And while we all do our part, Charmin is working hard to make a difference by regrowing 2 trees for every tree used. We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin? Whether it's the irresistible cushiony softness of Charmin Ultra Soft or the superior strength and absorbency of Charmin Ultra Strong, either way, you can't go wrong.
This year, wouldn't it be great to stop dealing with thin, brittle, shedding hair and instead have the thick, healthy, gorgeous hair you've always wanted? Well, now you can by using Hair Volume from New Nordic. Hair Volume is the all-natural solution trusted by millions of women around the world to say goodbye to thin, brittle, shedding hair. Look for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens and CVS or online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens or CVS.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
and a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Hi, I'm Jade, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz at 2 o'clock. Today we'll have the latest from the NFL Combine. Plus, we'll talk NFL with John McClain at 5:15. Big things happening out at UTSA. Athletic Director Lisa Campos joins us at 3:35. Hey, Joe, make sure you save some energy for The Blitz this afternoon.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Got to give it all to RJ.
It is a double duty day for Joe Reinagle, sitting in for Rob Thompson on the morning huddle, and he will be sitting in for himself on the Blitz later on this afternoon. Joe, have you fired up the PF Chang's yet, the leftovers?
I haven't yet. No, I'm going to wait till after the show so I can actually sit down and enjoy that. I've had 3 cups of coffee though, RJ, this morning, and thinking about a fourth, and that's unusual for me. Usually I'm a 2-cup guy, but I've already had 3, and so maybe the fourth is in order here at the next break.
Do you do an afternoon cup generally at some point?
No, typically not, but Minix got me hooked on these 5-hour energy drinks, and so
they're shots. They're not drinks.
Well, shots. And so I like them because you don't get all like, hyped up, but you kind of wake up a little bit. And so that's usually an afternoon treat for me.
Look, we're about to get into the Patty Mills discussion, but just kind of quick behind the curtain here on all this stuff. When I started doing this, everybody was like, okay, here's kind of a bit of a routine, how you can do this, how you can wake up, whatever. And I think you would agree, there is a bit of a fueling that has to happen throughout the show, and you have to kind of refuel and keep going. You mentioned it, you're on your 3rd cup of coffee, And people then said, oh, make sure you kind of, try to find time to take a nap. And maybe you take a nap, a little bit after. It's like, how can you take a nap a little bit after this when you've got all this caffeine in your system? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't line up. Like I've tried that before, and I've just been too awake to nap. Like imagine going to sleep in like 2 hours. You wouldn't be able to.
No, there's no way I could go back to sleep. I don't think. I mean, I haven't tried it, and today might be the day since when I was on with you Monday, I had to solo the show, the Blitz that afternoon. This time I don't have to do that, so I might just lean a little more on Minix to put that show together and motor. We'll see, but it will be tough, especially if I go after that fourth cup of coffee.
Han style is the way you did it. We learned on Monday.
Han style. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was reported by Shams about 10 minutes ago in real time that the Atlanta Hawks are waiving Patty Mills. The San Antonio Spurs return home from the Rodeo Road Trip tonight to face the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are in dramatic need, Joe, of a point guard. Patty Mills knows a thing or two about doing it in the building. Why not? I mean, why not? Let this. We need some good times, man. We need something. We need anything. Patty Mills is that anything right now.
Well, I mean, and that would be great for fans to see Patty Mills back. He obviously great memories of Patty Mills, and he has good memories here. I just wonder if Patty, at this point in his career, though, would much rather go to a contender, somebody that might win a championship or at least contend for a championship. Because, man, I would love to have a Patty Mills coming off the bench. You need a three-point bucket. That would be fantastic. For Victor Wembanyama, I think it would be great to have a veteran like that. It would be great to teach him in the moment, on the fly, during the game, what to do, what not to do, what to look for, what not to. And I think that would be awesome. I just worry about Patty might want to go somewhere where he's got a shot at one more championship before he rides off into the sunset. And that's probably, in all honesty, is probably why the Hawks released him.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do that, Hawks, just send Trae Young down this way. You know what I mean? Like if you're just punting on guards, let's just go ahead and do it. Now, all that being said, no disrespect to Patty, he's not these players, but Tim had David. LaMarcus had Tim, right? Like it is helpful to have, we talk all the time about corporate knowledge. You have to have it. You have to understand the Spurs way. This is a unique place. This is a unique franchise. This is a unique, overall operation. And while pop is pop, and you've got that common denominator connecting you to not just the past, but everything, it is a different kind of thing to have an on-court presence, somebody to teach you the ins and outs of the way Pop likes to execute things, or whatever the case may be. Not that Pop's going to be around for the majority of Wemby's career, but you get my point. There's no other, there's no other access point to the past that is accessible for the Spurs right now to go out and get. This kind of has fallen right in their laps. You want a goodwill thing that's going to calm down Joe Reinagle? Here's Patty Mills. You want something that is going to help Wemby, not that he needs that help specifically, but help him understand what this whole thing really is at its core. Here it is. You want, if you do value Devin Vassell or Jeremy Sohan or whoever, Trey Jones, you want them to understand this whole operation. We haven't even mentioned them and the value that Patty Mills brings to them. This is it. I mean, you get a true player coach on the court in Patty Mills. This would be my only focus today. Screw the Thunder game. Let's get loss number 49 out the way. This is commanding all of my attention today.
Well, and I understand why. And in a fantasy land, it would be great, RJ. And I know that's where you live most of the time, and that's okay. Look, Patty Mills would be great. It would be awesome to have him back here to help out. I just think Patty Mills most likely is going to want to go somewhere, and there's going to be some interest in him, I would assume, to get him back. And you talk about corporate knowledge for who? Maybe for Wemby. But other than Wemby and maybe Devin Vassell, I don't know what this team is going to look like next year. I have no clue what they're going to look like. So there's no helping this team right now. There's really not. The thing you've got to concentrate on is getting Wemby better. And that's what I think the Spurs will concentrate on. Look, I don't even know if after he reaches that 65-game plateau, how much he plays. I think he should, and I think he needs to continue to play. But will his minutes be cut back? Will they put him in a little bit of bubble wrap and be cautious with him the rest of the season? I would not be surprised because he is going to have a busy summer. So I don't know. Bringing Patty Mills on the face of it is great, but I just don't know that this team, as it is made up currently, is going to be the same team that we see when we start training camp next October.
Let us dream a little, Joe. Let us enjoy.
I know.
I'm just trying to have a good spring break. You know what I mean? That's all I'm kind of doing right here. And I'm saying we go here. It doesn't even have a pool. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's close. It's close to these restaurants. You're like, I don't want to walk everywhere in my flip flops. You know what I mean? Like, you're just, let us dream. It's a ball of game day. Can we get a ball of game day from you one time?
Ball of game day. I love Patty Mills. Love to see him here. But for his sake, it would be better if he went off to somewhere else. Maybe a Boston, a Minnesota, I don't know, Milwaukee. Name a team that might need somebody. Yeah,
Patty
so he's got an opportunity to win. So he's got an opportunity to win. It'd be great coming off the bench for one of those teams.
Last one here. If Patty, let's say he went to Boston, are the Celtics the team you're rooting for in the playoffs then?
I'm not rooting for them, but I think they are the best team in the East.
The team you mind the least. The team you mind the least if they have Patty Mills and Derek White.
Well, I love Derek White. I mean, the guy is. I wish he was still here, but I know why he's not. However, I think it'd be great. I think obviously it would only enhance their chances of winning a championship. That team's good, and it's and certainly one of the favorites. I feel for Patty Mills. I'd like to see him get one more opportunity. I don't know how much time he has left in the NBA. I would assume it's not much, but you get an opportunity for him to get one more championship.
On the subject of time remaining, there may only be a single year for the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff, especially as we now have learned that Mike Zimmer is only on a one-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into that next year on the Morning Huddle. Don't go anywhere or else.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start play today. Thank me later.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Get to Twin Peaks for their beer-battered fish and chips. This beer-battered cod is served with house-made tartar, malt vinegar, and french fries, and score them along with a 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for just $12. That's every Friday through Easter. Twin Peaks!
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Tonight at 8:30, it's the Heat and Nuggets. The NBA lives on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi. Hello.
Howdy.
It is the morning huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Everybody make sure to check out sasportstar.com. Sign up for the golf tournament. That would be cool. Or access anything and everything that we have said in the history of the world. You can do that in our audio vault, our AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault. Also, make sure to check out the YouTube channel, SA Sports Stars, how you do that. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Do you know what we call the people? I know you're learning all these names on the fly, Joe, but the people who have the notification set on YouTube.
I don't know. What do you call them?
This isn't an us specific thing, but you call them the Noti Gang. That's what you call the people who turn on the notifications. So when we go live, when y'all go live, they're the Noti Gang. They get notified. Bam! Joe's live.
The Noti Gang. See, yeah. I like that. Now, yeah, look, Rob's not smart enough to come up with this stuff, so that's got to be all you. The Brigade Bar, the Noti Gang. That's got R.J. Ochoa written all over it.
That's how I roll. You know, I offer a handful of things. This is in that handful. There is a new bit of drama encircling the Dallas Cowboys because it's a day that ends in Y. It was reported late Wednesday evening by Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News that Mike Zimmer is obviously a part of the Cowboys, but as such on a one-year deal. Now, it's not really shocking that he would come in and put himself, or that the Cowboys would put him on the same timeline as Mike McCarthy, but the Cowboys effectively have the nucleus of their coaching staff all on one-year deals. At the moment, their quarterback is on the final year of his deal. Their star wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, is effectively on the final year of his deal. Micah Parsons is technically on the final year of his deal. Now, a lot of these things can and will change. Micah's 5th-year option will get picked up and all sorts of things like that. But it doesn't have to be this way. And somehow, some way, we have found ourselves in the eye of this. I feel like I don't remember who starred in Twister, but you remember at the end of that movie when they used the belt, the leather thing or whatever, to like attach themselves to the pipe as the tornado was like. That's what we are right now, Joe. We're just holding on for dear life.
Well, that's every year, it seems, with the Dallas Cowboys. There's something that happens, and you're holding on for dear life. I wish I could remember the names of those actors and actors. But
Bill
anyway,
Paxton
that's neither here nor there.
and Helen Hunt.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
There you go. There you go. That was a good movie, by the way. I enjoyed that. Look, Mike McCarthy, not a huge Mike McCarthy fan. I wasn't a big fan of the hire when it happened, but I think they're doing him a disservice. To not extend him or outright fire him, I think it was a huge mistake by Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. I mean, the guy's, look, he's anything that happens to this guy. The first loss to the Arizona Cardinals is everybody's going to be calling for his head. He's a lame duck. He's this, he's that. I don't know how the guy's going to operate in that. Now, Mike Zimmer's got nobody to blame but himself for coming into this thing and signing a 1-year deal. But Mike McCarthy, I think it was unfair. I just think they should have fired him or should have extended him, one or the other, and move on with it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, not only with the coaching staff, but with Dak Prescott. Everybody's expecting him to get this extension. I think he'll be offered one, but the question is, will he take it? Does he want to stay in this Dallas Cowboys circus for the rest of his career?
I don't know why anybody would want to be a part of this other than the obvious, and that it offers an incredible platform, the money. But this is a really hard offseason to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys. And I think some people are at different places where they can distance themselves from things like that. Like, I think, Mike McCarthy's heard it all, right? Like, he seems pretty hardened to things, and Dak Prescott has certainly heard it all. But Dak mentioned it's just one example of this phenomenon when he announced the pending birth of his daughter, that, he and his partner were kind of careful because of the position that he holds. And I mean, that would get old, right? Like that would get old. Like, hey, we're pregnant, and everyone's like, you suck. That would just, that would really not be cool. And so I would not blame anyone for kind of getting tired of wearing the crown, so to speak. And it's only exacerbated when the team does things like this, when they put everyone in this really awkward and uncomfortable box. And some people will say, like, oh, well, I like that they're uncomfortable. I want them to be uncomfortable because they haven't gotten it done, and everything's soft nowadays. This isn't about that. This is about the drama of it all. I mean, it doesn't have to be this way where everyone is on edge constantly, and where you invite all of Mike Vrabel wouldn't have done that. Mike Vrabel wouldn't have lost to the Cardinals, but they have set themselves up almost by design to be in as volatile of a situation as possible.
Well, they have, and I think Jerry likes that. Look, Jerry, it's well known that, and I love Jerry Jones. I'll preface that by saying I think the guy is an amazing businessman. Obviously, he's made a lot of money. He's a billionaire. He's got the Cowboys as the most valuable franchise in the world. And that's all for not winning a Super Bowl in the last 28 years, and not even getting close to winning a Super Bowl in the last 28 years. And he's still done all of that. Any publicity for Jerry Jones is good publicity. You and I are sitting here talking about Jerry Jones and the volatile offseason that they're into. How are they going to rebuild? Then ESPN on one of their shows, they're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and Fox is going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody will be. And Jerry loves it. He loves it, and that's what's made this franchise what this franchise is. Now, Cowboy fans would like to see some progress, obviously. They would like to see some playoff success. I think their window is closing. I think they had a golden opportunity and they blew it. And you can't put that on Jerry Jones. You can't. He assembled a roster last year that had my partner calling their defense could be historic. And you had C.D. Lamb, who had one of the best seasons of his career. Dak Prescott, the best season of his career, arguably. And they just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. And I think that was because of the Cowboys' attitude and culture that they didn't get it done. And that was the issue.
Steven was asked about the culture this week and kind of just danced around it, said, they have great leadership. And I do think that they do for the most part, but this is a difficult organization to play for. You're not just fighting all the attention that comes with things, but you're fighting this incredible shadow. I mean, and you can say it doesn't factor into anything, but because of the noise, because of the attention, I mean, the shadow grows larger and larger and larger. And you talked about the window closing. This whole thing here, the report now that Mike Zimmer's on a 1-year deal and how the Cowboys have lined this up, it's like the Cowboys, they've moved the window halfty inside. They went and got up and pushed it down, and McCarthy, everybody was sitting in the living room going, what?
It's cold outside.
Yeah. Why did you? It was stuffy in here. Why did you close the window? And now they're even closing the blinds, and they're like, well, the sun's going to be setting kind of soon. And everybody's saying, like, wait a minute, what? It's 2:00. What are you doing? Making it all dark in here. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're making this worse than it has to be with all this kind of stuff. It was completely within their power to extend Mike McCarthy and get rid of this whole, elephant in the room. And I'm not advocating for Mike McCarthy being the head coach for a long time, but that would have gotten rid of this impediment being any kind of hurdle that Mike Zimmer or whoever would have had to have gotten over to become the defensive coordinator. And then people say, like, well, what happens if you want to fire him? Then you fire him. It's just money. Like, it's just money from your endless pool of it, and if you have to pay off his $5 million buyout or whatever the case may be, guess what? In 5 minutes, Pepsi will hit you up with something else and you'll make it up twice over, 3 times over. So they have the ability. And, Jerry had a quote several years back that said, I'm paraphrasing now, but it was like, if it would be so embarrassing if you could see the size of the check that I would write to win this team the Super Bowl. And that sounds badass, right? Like, it sounds really cool to say that, but you're not doing that. Like you could do that. Free agency is in less than 2 weeks. You could totally write a bunch of checks that would improve your team, but they're really not doing any of that. They're just doing all the negative and all the talking without any of the work. And that's what the frustrating thing is.
Well, and let's face it, RJ, and you know this, and most people listening know this. Look, the salary cap is the salary cap, but there are ways to get around that. And if you truly want to go all in and bring in some players the way the Rams did, the way the Bucks did, you can do that if you want to do that. They found a way to do it. The Cowboys could find a way to do it. And I'm of the contention, even if it screws your team over for the next 3 or 4 years after you win a Super Bowl, aren't you okay with that? The fact that you've got a Super Bowl, you got that Super Bowl monkey off your back, and people aren't sitting here like me saying it's been 28, 29 years, whatever it has been, since the Cowboys even made the NFC Championship game. You get that off your back and you kind of start over and then you move forward. To me, it's absolutely worth it, even if you suck for the next 2 or 3 years. But it seems like the Cowboys always have the next 2 or 3 years in mind instead of what's immediately in front of them.
The next 2 or 3 years may include Dak Prescott if Spotrac's prediction for his extension is accurate. They are some massive numbers that they are predicting Dak Prescott to earn in a hypothetical extension with the team. I will tell them to you, and Joe Reiniger will freak out right after this on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Oh, actually, no, never mind. We're going to tell you right now what the numbers are. And actually, before we do, just to kind of recover us from this awkward not break, Joe, we have some Hoosier tickets to give away. Let's go ahead and do that. 656 ESPN 656-3776. Joe will give them away to caller number.
In honor of Tony Romo, number 9.
Okay, caller number 9, 656 ESPN 656-3776. Edwin will greet you and all the information you need to know. So no break, actually, but
was Edwin screaming in your ear, RJ? No.
He wasn't screaming. He was very calm and very loving, actually, are the words that I would use to describe Edwin. He's the best.
That is Edwin. Yes, he is. I agree with that.
So that being said, 3 years, $180 million. That's the predicted extension for Dak Prescott.
Well, that's Spotrac, right? That's not Jerry or
That's their
Steven.
prediction.
Yes. Right. And look, I'm okay with the numbers because they are what they are. What I really like about that, if that indeed comes true, is the length, that they're not extending him out 5 years. So if it's a 3-year thing and maybe a little more friendly in the fact that Dak doesn't hold all the cards the way that he holds them now would be nice. That if Dak doesn't get it done over the next year or two, you can say adios and it's not going to break the bank. That would be nice. But I think we're all of us are missing the point here a little bit, RJ, and to the fact that we touched on it a few minutes ago. But the Cowboys can offer Dak that contract. I'm going to make a lot of money this year, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. And I'm going to go see what I can command on the open market. Nobody's talking about Dak saying, I'll bet on myself again and see what I can command on the open market. Everybody just assumes the Cowboys are going to extend this guy and life will go on the way it's gone on in Dallas for the past 8 years.
So that completely and totally exists as a threat. And that's why, you have to, that's why, the predicted contract or projection for the contract has, I think, $119 million in effective guarantees. You're going to have to overwhelm him in some way. You're going to have to convince him that the bird in hand is better than the two in the bush, because the two in the bush are really, really, worth considering. I mean, and Kirk Cousins gets credit for being the pioneer of all this, for being willing to play on the franchise tag and making a lot of money. He had a fully guaranteed contract, obviously, with the Minnesota Vikings. That was also a 3-year deal, by the way, a few years back now. They did add an extension on top of that. But Dak has also followed that playbook. I mean, he has, I wouldn't say been the trailblazer, but he has helped continue to blaze the trail for other people to follow, him and Kirk. And you're right. I mean, he could weaponize next year, and he could say, you know what, dude? You got all these coaches on a 1-year deal anyway. Like, I don't want to be around for this. Like, and the money's going to be the same. If I got to move, so be it. And if I can go have success somewhere else, even if I don't have success there, I mean, it won't be as annoying as it is here with all the stuff that kind of encircles the situation. I think it's worth mentioning on the length, and I don't mean to jump back to that, but so Dak is 30. He's going to be 31 this summer. And this is an extension. So this is 3 more years on top of the remaining year on his contract. So that would tie him to the Cowboys for 3 more years. So his age 31 season, and then 32, 33, and 34. Tony Romo's last big extension that he got with the Cowboys came prior to his age 33 season. So while you say that you like the length, and I get where you're coming from a wanting an out perspective, the age of 35 is still well within the prime operating years for an NFL quarterback. So you're talking about having to have this discussion again, I wouldn't say 5 minutes from now, but like 10 minutes from now. And you're going to, it is very possible, Joe, because Dak is going to get paid. I think you agree with that one way or another, whether it's by the Cowboys here in the here and now or by somebody else on the open market next year. And if it is a 3-year deal, especially, Dak has the potential to be the highest earner ever in NFL history in terms of earnings as a result from your team contract, not off the field. Although off the field, he's obviously profited a great amount from being a part of the Cowboys. So Dak is really positioning himself to have made more money, and I know that everybody loves to hear this, more money than anybody ever in the history of the NFL.
And I'm going to give Dak a lot of credit for that, because he took the chance, he rolled the dice, and got paid, and he got a contract that is all angled to Dak. He has got all the control in the world when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and what they do. Look, and you're absolutely accurate when you say there's probably 5-6 teams that would open up the vault to get Dak Prescott in there, and I think that's accurate. And Dak knows that. So he can hold Jerry Jones to the fire. He can hold this team hostage if he wants to. And I don't see any reason why he wouldn't want to do that. Even if they offer him $180 million, $120 million of it guaranteed, Dak's got enough money. Dak's got more money than he'll ever spend, and probably his grandchildren will ever spend if he uses it right. And Dak's a smart guy, and I think he will. So how much more money does he want? That's going to be the question. And will the Cowboys be willing to come up with that? And And you're right. They're going to have to overwhelm him. Or if I'm Dak, I'm sitting here saying, I'm going to make a lot of money this year playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm sending my agent over to Minnesota or San Francisco or name a team and saying, hey, how much would Dak Prescott be worth to your franchise? And let's start talking.
A lot of people, because I very often kill the Cowboys for this, because they bungled it. I mean, to be very clear. Now, I know you agree. I want to see players get as much money as humanly possible. And in that sense, Dak has certainly done well for himself. But from a team perspective, you obviously want to get a player signed to as cheap of a deal as possible, right? Like your goal is to build a team. And so the more dollars you have to do that, the better. And everybody always asks, well, like, how did they bungle this? This all began in 2019. In 2019, that was the first offseason in which Dak Prescott was first eligible for a contract extension, coming round contract when they had him for pennies on the dollar because he was a 4th-round pick. That wasn't their fault. That wasn't Dak's fault. That was just the way that it ultimately went. And in that same offseason, Dak's cohorts, Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, signed extensions with their respective teams that would move on from them, obviously, very quickly thereafter. But that being said, you had to overwhelm him then. The reason this extension, or that Dak Prescott is in the midst of potentially, having end at the end of this year, the reason it was only a 4-year deal was because they dragged their feet. If you want the 5-year deal, if you want something else, you have to give somewhere. You cannot win on the guarantees and on the length and on the average per year. You have to bend somewhere. And that is where the Cowboys have just refused to understand that messaging. So, yeah, now you're probably in a position where, to your point, Joe, you're going to have to bend on the time. You're going to have to give him 3 years and give him another bite at the apple when more television money has come in. You're going to have to bend on the average per year and make him the highest paid quarterback and player in the NFL for obvious reasons. And you're going to have to bend on the guarantees because without him, you're screwed. I mean, you and that's why you should have done this last year. If you had done this last year, yes, you would have had to have overwhelmed him from an annual average standpoint or a guarantee standpoint or some sort of standpoint to get him to do it then, but you had more time. You were not as far deep in the corner as you are now. And now Dak's got you. So he has no reason to your point, if he really is that confident in himself, and all the history we have learned from Dak Prescott is he is more than confident enough to kind of bank on his game. He doesn't have to do this. I mean, like, we haven't really, you're right, considered that potential and that possibility. And that would say a lot. I mean, if Dak Prescott were to be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want any more here.
That exactly, and I could see that scenario. Look, Dak is coming off arguably the best statistical season that he's played. I mean, he was solid in the regular season. I mean, teams could say, well, you suck in the playoffs, but still, I think teams, that haven't had the success, that haven't had the 12-win seasons for 3 years in a row, would open up the bank for Dak. And look, Dak knows that, and his agent knows that. And they know they've got Jerry Jones over a barrel. So this is going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. And I think the contract that Spotrac rolled out is a starting point in a lot of respects. And it could be a hell of a lot higher than that, RJ.
Times are tough for the Dallas Cowboys, and they're equally tough for the San Antonio Spurs, who are back in action tonight. But the word coddling has been thrown out a lot this week here at the station, and we're going to get into that. Who's coddling? People call us the morning cuddle. Maybe they call us the morning coddle from here on out. Who knows? At least when Joe Ryan goes on. Joe Ryan goes on for another hour here with us. Don't go anywhere. We're back on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Center.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we've specialized in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey today.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Yeah, I know, but the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too?
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry. It's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, would he look like me?
No.
Go where everyone else goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, what if I shaved?
Still no. For store hours, directions, and more, go to diamondsdirect.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Castrol Edge can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, Boost Mobile here to help you start from scratch. Boost is giving you the chance to win incredible prizes in our latest scratch-off sweepstakes, including up to $5,000 cash, with over 7,600 prizes up for grabs. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. For your chance to win, just head to your local participating Boost Mobile store and ask for a scratcher. It's that easy. So visit a Boost Mobile store today and get after it. Ends 3/31/24 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Other restrictions apply. Visit your local Boost Mobile store for details.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NFL Combine is underway, and the Dallas Cowboys have a coaching staff all under contract for 2024 and 2024, specifically according to the Dallas Morning News. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs are back from the Rodeo Road Trip. The Oklahoma City Thunder up next tonight at the Frost Bank Center. Sports are happening. We're talking about it here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hello, hi, and happy huddling to the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. No Rob Thompson today. I am RJ Ochoa. He is Joe Reinagel, and he is so excited for the return of Formula One racing this weekend. Is that not true, Joe?
Sure. Yeah, it's the first I've heard of it, but yeah, it makes me just all giggly inside.
This is the first you've heard of Formula One, or the first you've heard of the race returning, or the racing returning this weekend?
That it was back and returning this week. Yes, I've heard of Formula One. Yes.
You're not a Drive to Survive fan on Netflix?
No, I'm not. Although I've heard good things about it.
I think you would really enjoy it.
I have not seen it. Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. Here's
what we're going to do. We have an hour left of, as Rob likes to say, restaurant quality radio. Before the end, I'm going to text you a list of every team in Formula One racing. Before the end, we will air our grievances, and you will pick a Formula One team to support. How's that sound?
Sure.
All right.
I hear there's only like 20 of them, right? Is there like 20?
Yeah. So, well, look at you. You're kind of, well, there aren't 20. I mean, it's complicated, but, and they change names and they're sponsored and things like that. But each team has two drivers. So, think of it like this. The Morning Huddle is one team. Rob and I are racers. And the Blitz is another team, and you and Jason are racers. So, we're kind of all on the same track together.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to finding out who your team's going to be.
Well, so what happens now, though? Because now I'm on your team. So am I just to fill in, and then I go back to the Blitz
That does
team?
work, yeah.
How does that work?
There are fill-ins that happen. So in racing, one of the more popular current racers, Daniel Ricciardo, filled in last year, and then that led to a permanent spot. I don't know that that's happening here because, the Blitz miss you a lot, but. And
and I'm not sure about this morning thing, but other than that,
yeah. So you and Jason, you're a team. We'll find out who y'all are, who your favorite team is. Joe Reinagel will pick a Formula One team to support this season later on this hour on the Morning Huddle.
Will do.
This week, though, on the Morning Huddle, Joe, you accused Greg Popovich of coddling Spurs players this season. Now, you said this on the heels of Keldon Johnson getting benched after 4 minutes of, we'll call it inactivity against Utah. That authoritative disposition rippled into the week and into the rest of the Rodeo Road Trip. Spurs, Yank, and Wemby, and also Jeremy Sohan in their loss against the T-Wolves, their latest loss. And so as we cruise into tonight, the Spurs are proving that if you mess up, we'll bench you. So do you want to walk back the coddling? Do you think they're no longer coddling players?
I'm not going to walk back anything. They have been coddling players, and that's what's happened. And I think Greg Popovich finally decided that, this kind, gentle-hearted grandpa figure is not working. They're not getting any better. And now I need to go back to the old Greg Popovich that I used to be. I get really tired of people telling, well, it's a new generation of player. You just can't treat them the same way you treated, Tony Parker and Monty Ginobili and Tim Duncan. And I say baloney. They're making more money now than they made back then. And if these guys don't want to be yelled at, then go do something else. But if you're a professional basketball player and you're cashing checks that are larger than most people will ever see in their entire lives, then you need a coach that's going to ride your behind. And if you can't handle that, go get another job. So, yeah, I think Pop thought that he could coddle these guys, treat them a little bit differently than the Pop of the past, and that would turn things the right way. But I think even Greg Popovich, with what he's done in the last 2 games, knows that that's not true. And if you screw up, guess what? You're going to get benched. And I don't care who you are. If your name is Victor Wembanyama, you're going to get benched if you turn the ball over too much, if you make mistakes. And I think guys learn from that better than saying, oh, get back out there. I'm going to pat you on your little butt and put you out there and give you a cookie. And just do better next time, and we'll give you a trophy. And it just doesn't work. And I think what Pop is doing now is the thing that he should have been doing since the beginning of time.
I have several sort of general rules that I live life along the lines of, and one of them is that multiple things can be true, because people tend to act like only one thing can be true. And I think it's true that the Spurs should have been doing this from the very beginning. I also think it's true that doing it now is really silly. I mean, it is so silly to act, high and mighty atop Mount Pius when you're an 11-win team on the final games of the Rodeo Road Trip. I mean, I'm not Keldon's biggest fan. I don't know who his biggest fan is, but Sunday night was just. I had to imagine it was just so random. You know what I mean? Everybody was like, "What?" He played 4 minutes. I know he made a mistake, but we've been making mistakes for 3 months now, and nobody's batted an eye. You know what I mean? And then to pull Wemby, I agree with you that you should not be afraid to pull your stars, and that's the Spurs way, and that's Pop's way, and that's all good and that's all fine. But it also is undone the moment you're like, okay, well, we're really, really bad. Like, Jeremy, you could stay on the bench, but Wemby, you got to get back in there. So this looks somewhat respectable. And so it feels really empty and it feels really hollow. And I don't want to be somebody who's just not pleased about anything, because we've been calling for them to obviously, be more disciplined and hold players accountable. And they are doing that, and they deserve credit for that. But it is a little bit too little too late. This season is lost. You can't bring it in anymore. You know what I mean? You just kind of have to let it drift out to sea. And that's a really frustrating experience, and something that's frustrating to be true even before the Rodeo Road Trip is over.
Well, look, I think Pop's got to do something. I mean, he's got to be pulling what he has left of his hair out. I mean, sincerely, because these guys are making the same mistakes today than they made back in November, and it just hasn't gotten any better. And that's why even Pop has just got to be nuts and saying, what do I have to do? I got to try something something different than what I've been doing, because, I mean, look, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And whether Keldon Johnson is a part of this team next year or not, whether Jeremy Sohan is a part of this team next year or not, I mean, you've got 20 some odd games left, and you'd like to see these guys not make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I applaud Pop, even though it's late in the game, I applaud him for at least trying something different now. Because, I mean, everybody that watches a Spurs game now says, here we go again. Turnovers. Here we go again. Missed assignments. Here we go again. Wemby was wide open and you didn't get him the ball. I mean, at some point in time, you got to try something different, even if the game is already lost.
The season is lost. And so I think you can look at that as a macro version of what you're talking about, like the season as a whole, right? Like, well, and I guess, maybe we should give them a little bit more credit there in saying, like, look, we know it's kind of silly to start, acting all, tough and we're going to bench guys. But the lackadaisical, the grandpa approach, that's not yielding anything. And even if we can improve morale or whatever by 1% before the season is over, it's worth doing, right? Because right now you're just doing crap. You're just throwing crap against a wall. And so why not? You know what I mean? You want to scream and yell one day when you haven't done it all season, while it is, kind of random to do it all of a sudden.
Yeah, baby.
Why not? Thank you. But because every game feels so pointless. Like, are you at all impassioned about them playing the Thunder tonight. Ooh, we get Wemby and Chet again. Ooh, rookie of the year battle. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it all feels so, it feels so small in the big picture.
Well, yeah, and I think that look, it is small, but at least a game like tonight, I can look at it and I can watch a matchup. How are Wemby and Chet going at each other? And two of the young stars, the up and coming, and they're going to be the faces of the league for some time. So at least I can get into this game and I can watch that matchup and see exactly how Wemby stacks up against Chet, how Chet stacks up against Wemby, and it gives me something to watch. And I guess you could do that for the rest of the season. How is Wemby going to improve? How is he going to, as we kind of motivate ourselves to get into the offseason and then to next year? So in that respect, that's really all that we have. That's all that we have left. And how many games will the Spurs win? Will they get to 15? That's a question. Can they get there? Will they stay ahead of Detroit and Washington? I mean, you got to make stuff up at this point in time, RJ, and just to stay interested. Now, look, we're all sports geeks, so we're going to watch. But for the average fan, it's a Thursday night. I don't know if I'd have any interest in watching the Spurs in Oklahoma City tonight. I'll watch it because I'm interested in the matchups, and it's our job. But just an average fan, I'm going to go have dinner. I'll check ESPN when I get home.
If you are looking for something to kind of captivate you, remember that the Spurs are chasing the 80s Lakers for most consecutive games with 20 or more assists. They can tie the record next Tuesday if they manage to do it against Oklahoma City and Indiana and Houston. So that's when they can tie the record, and we can break the record outright next Thursday night in Sacramento, Joe. So wow. I'll ask you this: if we presume that they keep this up, they get 20 or more assists. How many of these games do they win? Just a win-loss. Oklahoma City tonight, Indiana, who's also in the middle of a 20 or more consecutive assists streak, at Houston, and then at Sacramento. How many of those 4 do they win? I think maybe they beat Houston.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they beat Houston. I'll give them that. Sacramento, they got close to. They played Sacramento really well, but that was the game right out of the All-Star break. Right. So the Kings might not have been all there. Not taking anything away from the Spurs. Look, RJ, it doesn't matter if they win. I'm Spurs fans. I'm getting hammered again on Twitter. Every time I'm on with you, I get in trouble with Spurs fans. But obviously, Spurs fans don't give a damn about wins. All they care about is whether Wemby wins awards or not. That's what we're on. That's what we're up to. So Wemby's got to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's got to win Rookie of the Year. Hell, why not put him in the MVP conversation? I mean, we might as well. Let's put him in every category.
Okay, let's slow down. All right, let's slow down. Let's take a breath. And let's get you all riled up to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and why they're making 2024 needlessly and unnecessarily dramatic. Also, take some time to pick your new Formula One team. We'll get into those things as well as get ready to air our grievances on the other side of this. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
This year, wouldn't you like to stop feeling self-conscious about your receding hairline or thinning hair? Millions of men and women around the world trust Hair Grow from New Nordic as an effective way to get thicker-looking hair. Hair Grow is backed by an exclusive U.S. patent and is clinically proven to promote more hair growth. Ask for Hair Grow at your local Walgreens or shop online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. That's new, N-O-R-D-I-C, USA.com. Amazon, or ask for Hair Grow at your local Walgreens.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find.
I'm looking for a whiskey that will blow my buddies away.
This single barrel bourbon is a surefire hit.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, did you hear that? I feel like a rock star.
Well, finding this bottle at that price, you totally are. Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly. B21.
The La Tap Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. La Tap Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, Lisa Campos will join us at 3:35. A lot of big things happening out at UTSA. She's going to tell us all about it. And John McClain, he'll stop by at 5:15. We'll talk all things NFL. Hey, Joe, your takes are so good, man. Yes, they are. Who was that guy? He was smart.
I love his voice. Joe, so we said we were going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, right?
We did.
Those are the words we said.
Uh-huh.
By the way, Joe is hard at work picking his Formula One racing team. So.
Oh, yes. Yes, I am.
So during the break, Michael Gelkin, whose article we referenced several times, or have referenced several times throughout the show, tweeted out something that I just want to read to you. I just want to get your reaction. Ready? And everybody should watch on YouTube so they can see it. SA Sports Star is a YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, turn on the notifications. What do we call the notification people, Joe?
The Noties? The Noti gang?
The Noti gang. The Noti gang.
The Noti gang. I knew it was something Noti.
So here we are. This is the tweet. Here at the I want to get it verbatim correct. Here at Combine, the Cowboys have fewer scheduled meetings with agents than in years past. There is no hint they're on precipice of a high-priced free agency flurry that would resemble what most associate with the all-in buzzword. Seemed case from the start. I got to give Michael Gehlken a lot of credit for calling out this BS. And he's been on this. He wrote an article a few weeks back talking about how there's no real suggestion that they're going to be all in. People heard this line, they ran with it, et cetera, et cetera. They did exactly what Jerry did. They drank the water the horse led them to. And Gehlken is, I respect it. I respect calling them out and holding their feet to the fire. They're not doing anything at the Combine.
In any given year, but
Oh, Jerry. I appreciate Michael Gehlken too. And the meetings with free agents. I mean, is that really something? Would we be happier, RJ, if they were meeting with I don't know 5-6 free agents at the Combine? I mean, I'm sincerely asking this question: Is that a telltale sign that they're not going to go all in, so to speak, on free agents this year? I'm just not sure.
They are kings at staying relevant. That is their true elite quality. If they are an elite operation at anything, it is that. And a lot of the work is done by people other than them. But they also know with the Jerry comment, I think that I will give them enough credit to say, I think they understand that people are a different kind of pissed. Right, because I think you would agree too yourself that the temperature of the average Cowboys fan is a lot more volatile than it's been in seasons past. I think that they can sense that, and so I think that Jerry, because he can't resist, he threw chum in the water. He's, you guys want to? Oh, we're all in. You know what I mean? And boom. And I think Steven, who is the more cautionary, the bad cop, if you will, I think Steven said, "Whoa, that calmed them down and got them excited for a month, but the bill's about to come due." On that, we're about to have to prove that we're all in, and we have no intention of proving that we're all in. So we have to start, slowing this thing down. This is the speed trap on the trek, on the road trip that we're on. We got to go from 80 down to 30 real quick. So let's get off cruise control, and they're coasting down right now while they're at the Combine. Steven's comment earlier this week about how they're always all in was the beginning of it, and kudos to Gehlken for calling this out, because they're not going to do anything, man. They may ultimately extend their players, and they will classify that as being all in, but they knew exactly what they were doing when they teased this verbiage, and they knew exactly what would happen and how pissed off people are going to be when they don't ultimately live up to it.
Well, and you're absolutely right about that. Jerry, though, it seems to me when he said that comment, and I think the media has a little bit to blame here for taking what he said and running with it in a different direction other than the one where he meant it.
He knew that, though. That's why he said it. I don't think we do you know that I don't mean this in like a aggressive way, but do you know the exact quote?
Well, the exact quote is he was talking about his own free agents, right?
No. So
I thought about this. So tell me.
So the exact quote was, I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, this is your point, we will be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year. So when you say there is any thought, we will push the hell out of it. Okay, that's the first part. Then it will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past. We will be going all in. We've seen some things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. Yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year not build it for the future. It's the best way I've ever said, and that ought to answer a lot of questions. So again, to your point, if he had kept it vague, if he'd kept it ambiguous, he could lean on that, on the semantics of it all and say, hey man, like I said this, that, whatever. But to say it would be different, to say it would be not the future, et cetera, he opened this door that we're all now here. We didn't break this down. He invited us in.
And hearing that again, you're absolutely right. He is insinuating that not only is he going to go all in on the free agents they have, but he's also insinuating that they're going to go all in and not play for the future. Okay, so hearing that again is a good reminder of what they're doing. And look, I will say I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. It's not in their history to do what Jerry just described. It's just not in their history. But the fact that they're not meeting with a bunch of free agents at the Combine, like a lot of other teams are, by the way, because typically that's where conversations get started. I don't know if we can completely hinge the fact that they're not going to do anything and they're just saying that all on the Combine. Can we? I mean, sincerely. I'm going to give Jerry a little bit of a break in that respect. While I appreciate what Michael Gelkin is saying and just pointing to the facts, he's not really saying anything. But it could be done without that, maybe.
So, well, then live in the hypothetical. If they are not all in, if they are chill, if they slow play this, whatever, what kind of criticism do they deserve?
A lot. I mean, but they did go out at least, and I know it was late in the game, and get Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. And everybody praised them for that and saying, hey, well, this is something they don't normally do, and we're happy to have those guys. If it takes that long, do they still deserve criticism? If I don't know, in July, June, name a month, doesn't matter, they go out and get a couple of free agents, maybe a veteran linebacker, for example, since Leighton Vander Esch most likely is not coming back. Do we praise them for that? Or does it have to be now and the conversations have to be started right now?
I think it has to be now because I think that's what they invited. And I put a lot of stock into Gelkin saying that there is no hint that they're on the precipice of this. Again, that was his word. And he's been saying this for a while. He's been not towing the company line by any stretch, but he's been holding them accountable to what they said. It was a month ago. It was January 30th when Jerry Jones said this. So for a month, Jerry kept us. This was the first 2 seasons of Lost. That's where Jerry Jones has had us. Oh, super interesting. We're on this island. Oh man, somebody discovered these random numbers and we don't know what's going on. And now we're just at this point where it's like, okay, well, like, do we really get off of here? Like, who are these other people on the other side of the island? How did nobody ever discover them when we've actually been here for a very long time? Is this purgatory? Is this something else? We're past idle hands. The bill is due. They ordered the meal, and we are stuck with no food and just the money that we have to pay for it all.
Well, I mean, welcome, RJ. You know this as well as anybody. It happens every year, does it not? And I know some years may be worse than others, and this year is a time, especially when they're coming off a humiliating loss to the Green Bay Packers, and everybody's clamoring and saying, hey, you got to get something done, and Cowboy fans may be a little more upset this year than they have been in the past. But I mean, this is the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's going to eventually talk at the Combine, and he's going to get peppered with questions about that all-in comment. And it's going to be very interesting to see how he walks away from that, walks it back, whatever the case may be. He's going to. He's going to. Or does he double down on it? Either way, it's going to be a topic of conversation for the next month. Jerry, he walked his comment back, and they're not going all in. Or Jerry doubled down on it, and they are going to go all in. What's he going to do? When's he going to talk to free agents? And it's just the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry wants to keep the conversation alive. 365. I mean, he does. Every single day has got to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. He's a master at manipulating the media. This guy, he's just a bumbling old man. No, he's not. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he plays the media like a fiddle.
We've all been waiting for it. Time to get the bad air out, let the good air in. We're going to air our grievances, and what we have been waiting for specifically, the one and only Joe Reinagel is about to pledge allegiance to a Formula One team, and he's going to tell us exactly why in essay form he picked the team that he did. That is coming up next, and you do not want to miss it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, they're doing some good things over at UTSA. Athletic Director Lisa Campos will join us to tell us all about it.
Plus, John McClain will join us talking Houston Texans in the NFL Combine. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
How often do you, as your man, think about the Roman Empire?
Why do we have to call it Roman Empire? I mean, just call it sex.
Oh, so you do think about it.
Mike, I don't think that sex... Explain your point.
Turley's parents made the mistake when he was 11 years old of letting him watch the film Caligula. You shouldn't see that when you're 11, and it ruins you. And Turley's now a twisted individual.
Exactly right.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening this Saturday, where you can get 1 to 4 acres in the waterfront community starting at $49.9. That's 1 to 4 acres starting at $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Let that bad air out. Bring the good air in. It's time to air our grievances here on the Morning Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm RJ Ochoa. He's Joe Reinagle, not Rob Thompson. And Joe, we do this every day, and you know that. And we're going to get to it. We're going to air those grievances out. But I'm going to have one if you don't pick a Formula One team. Have you picked one? Have you done that?
I have actually picked one.
Okay.
I have picked one. And look, not knowing anything about any of these guys or the teams that they drive for, any of this stuff, but I love these dudes' names, okay, or at least one of them. I'm going with the Aston Martin team, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll.
Okay.
How cool is that name? Lance Stroll. Love that.
Okay. So you have picked Aston Martin. That's your team.
Yes. That's my team.
They're pretty good. They are an all-in team. They spend a lot of money. So a little bit of background, just so you're aware. They're newly rebranded last couple of years to Aston Martin. So you're getting in kind of right now. Now's the time. It's hot. And Fernando Alonso is a legend in Formula One racing. He's won the World Championship before. So you've got kind of, the resident GOAT-ish kind of dude. Not really, but kind of. A lot of people like kind of the Phil Mickelson of Formula One racing. I mean, that'd be the best way to put it. But he's not Tiger. Kind of the better way to say it. And Lance Stroll, a lot of people hate. So it's funny that you like him because and if you do decide to venture deep into Formula One, you'll learn that this is pretty prominent. Lance's father owns the team, and
the rich kid, huh? That's what you're saying. Okay,
and so that's kind of why he's on the team. He's not that good, but his dad cuts the checks. So
I got you. It happens.
But congratulations, you're an Aston Martin fan.
Well, there you go, Aston Martin, and I think why not? It's I like the name Lance Stroll, and I didn't know he wasn't very good. But so I've got a goat and then a slug, basically. Is that what you're telling me?
I've never heard an anti-goat be referred to as a slug like that. So I mean, I wouldn't use those exact words myself, but that is the general theme of what you have going on. Yes.
Okay. Good. Well, now who's your team? Now that I picked a team, do you have a team?
I do have a team. My team is Ferrari. I am a sucker for pageantry and for epicness, and they kind of have all that going on. I picked them before I learned that they are kind of the Dallas Cowboys of Formula One, in that they do have this like great history, but they kind of suck. They don't suck, but they're good enough to be good, but not good enough to win a championship. So they're just heartbreak city over and over and over and over again. But I'm well accustomed to that lifestyle as a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I'm equipped for this.
Okay, well, Edwin, I've got to ask you to write those down, buddy, and put them somewhere, because the season begins when? This weekend?
This weekend, yeah.
Okay, so, and how long does it last?
It runs through, I want to say like March, or not March. It runs through Christmas time, January. And so you'll, Rudolph says, so basically Lance Stroll is Bronny James of F1. That might be a bridge too far, Rudolph, but you're not far off base, to be honest with you. So yeah. If you watch Drive to Survive, I guarantee you will come away and not be a fan of it. So but the new season came out on Netflix.
Yeah, that has been recommended to me on more than one occasion, so I'm going to have to do that. I hear it's very entertaining and educational. So
when you start, if you do start, they're not Aston Martin, so you might be very confused. Their name used to be Force India, so they have, like I said, they've rebranded, and so just know that those are the bones of your team if you do start.
Okay,
and
well,
also
I'll
your
recognize
challenge.
Lance Stroll. Yeah.
That's true. Your challenge is to get Minix to pick a team. So we've got a Ferrari representative here, and now an Aston Martin representative. So get Minix to pick a team, and we can all have a Formula One racing team as things get going this weekend.
Well, then we'll have Rob get a team as well.
Rob is a fan. I don't know if he has a team. I'll ask him tomorrow to pick, and then we'll just kind of, like a turtle racing competition at a bar. This weekend we'll all go, and all the teams will start driving, and we'll be in a season-long race. Look at us.
Okay, well, there's no better way to get somebody involved in a sport than to have them involved in the sport. And you know what I mean? Not just a casual fan watching, but now you've got some money in the game.
You got some skin in the game, exactly.
Yes.
So you get Minix to pick a team. I'll confirm who Rob's team is, and then this weekend the first race is Saturday morning. So we'll have an update on Monday as to who's in the lead.
Okay.
But speaking of Monday, this past Monday, you were here on the Morning Huddle and you aired some grievances. You had some Whataburger takes that didn't exactly go over well with the Texas loyalists. Did you come prepared with a different kind of grievance today?
You know, I don't. You know, I'm a happy guy, RJ. I really don't have a lot of grievances. The one grievance I will say, and I love the debate, but Spurs fans are driving me nuts. You know, I throw out honest opinions and facts, and then they come back with me with fantasies and story time. So that if there is a grievance, although I love you Spurs fans, whether you agree with me or not, it's fine. But that to me is a grievance today. Just from my coddling comments on Monday to my, Wemby's not going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award this year. So Spurs fans, love you, but I'm just spitting out facts. That's all.
So your grievance is that they disagree with you? Is that, I mean?
Well, no, the grievance is that they're holding on so tight to just the amount of Wemby awards. It drives me nuts. And that's all we have. I get it. So you're looking for something to hang on to. But if Wemby doesn't have a closet full of awards this year, somehow, some way, the Spurs have been unjustly denied their rightful pennants.
Okay, I can get on board with this.
Right.
Yeah, because
so
I do think
what it is.
I think that sports fans in general think that the national media hates their team more than they ever do. In fact, more often than not, national media don't. It's like I once heard Joe Buck talk about how I don't hate any team. You know, like everybody thinks I hate their team. You know, whatever. And it's like, you know, what for what reason does the national media have a vendetta against Wemby? Like, do you realize how profitable it would be for the NBA if Wemby did win Defensive Player of the Year? You know what I mean? Like, if they're rigging the game for anything, it would be for that. Like, if Rudy Gobert wins Defensive Player of the Year, it's like another ho-hum thing. You know what I'm saying? But if Wemby does, it's this massive thing that they can capitalize on. So they would prefer that to happen than not. It just isn't the case right now. So, you know, I'm with you. Look at that. We're aligned in this.
All right.
So good for you.
All right. Yeah.
My first one is bucket hats. All right. Now we're not quite there yet. Yeah, not quite there, but from time to time, we were talking about the golf tournament. Everybody go to sasportstar.com, get register. There are very few spots remaining. When it's particularly hot, I like to wear a bucket hat, right? You know, change things up a little bit. Now, my grievance isn't with the bucket hats because I find them to be a functional thing in certain circumstances. I don't need the string. Who needs it? It just gets in the way. You know what I mean? When I'm walking, if I'm swinging, it actually becomes a difficult thing for me when I'm playing golf. Have you ever in your life at any point been wearing a bucket hat and then the string become involved and gone, you know what? Thank God the string was here. Like I would have really been, you know, up a creek if the string hadn't been on a part of the bucket hat. No, the string is only something that people hang the bucket hat by in their homes. They don't actually utilize it. Nobody tightens it up with the little thing underneath their chin. Nobody really ever practically does that. That's my grievance.
Well, and that's a legit grievance. I don't wear bucket hats very often. But I understand what you're talking about with the string. It is kind of annoying. There's got to be some use for it. Like wherever they invented the bucket hat, do we know where they invented the bucket hat? It must be windy there.
It must stem from maybe a safari hat or something. You know what I mean? And they were driving or riding horses or something. And there was, you know, something you know, whatever. But nobody really does that. Like we could talk about how it's windy, but nobody actually adjusts the string on their bucket hat when it's windy outside. Nobody does that.
Well, I mean, you kind of would look like a goof if you did, right? I mean, it's walking around with a string tied in your hat. I mean, I mean, just the look of it alone is just outrageous. So, I'm with you on the string. I don't like the string. I should probably wear bucket hats or something more often than I do when I play golf. But I just haven't been, you know, I got a lot of hair, and a hat like that just kind of messes with it a little bit. I got to buy a bigger size, and it's just a big problem.
But those are generally one size fits all, so that must be a problem for you.
Well, sometimes it is. I got a pretty big dome as it is. I mean, so yeah, and then you add the hair on top, and it's a problem that I have.
I have a second grievance.
I have to fit. Please share.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to also put you in a position. We want to hear what bothers you. You know what I mean? You don't you guys don't do this on the Blitz, so it's good to let it out. I mean, I'm trying to encourage
it.
It
is, yeah.
So it got a little chilly, right? A little
right.
chilly, and my grievance is this is more situational. But when it is cold outside and somebody is cold and they're like, I'm cold, let's get to the car, and they get in the car and they turn the heater on full blast, and then they get upset.
Right.
And they say, why isn't it? I'm so cold. Your car's taking too long. The car just turned on. The engine has to warm up. The car has to warm up. It isn't instantaneous heat. If you understand the principles of thermodynamics, it's going to take a moment for the car to warm up and then for you to feel the radiation and all of that warmth. So my grievance is people that are impatient in this process. Is that fair?
Well, it is, and a lot of cars now have the thing on the fob where you can start the car without being in there and let the heater go. It's weird that you say that because my dad, back in the day, whether it was cold or not, it was his opinion that a car needs to be warmed up before you drive it. So he would go out to the driveway, start the car, and then come back in and do whatever it is, have breakfast or whatever, while the car was running in the driveway, and then it was nice and warmed up and ready to go. So it's kind of a weird, and not that I'm upset with him, I just thought that was the norm when I was a kid. I thought, oh well, okay, that's what you do. And
it's
I realized
you guys aren't warming up your car for 30 minutes. What a bunch of weirdos! What a bunch of goofs.
So that was kind of weird to me. But when you're a kid and your dad's doing something, you think, well, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. But now I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I don't have a lot of time to warm the car up. I just get in and go. And if it takes 10 minutes, while you're driving to warm up the car.
My grievance is that people complaining about it. I don't have a problem with this phenomenon, but people act impatient and they say, why is your car taking so long to warm up? And it's a matter of, again, the thermodynamics. I can't accelerate the heating up. No car can instantly be heated up for you the way that you're anticipating. Along these lines, one time my dad was driving his truck and it was the opposite. It was really hot outside and he turned his air conditioner on full blast. And speaking of thermodynamics, the instantaneousness of it all warped the passenger side window, and the window shattered. Just because it went it went from this insane heat to insane cooling immediately. So that happened. And so that's what I'm saying. These people who are complaining about it not being hot enough yet, you're jeopardizing our health. You're putting us at risk. A window could shatter.
Well, I mean, that could happen, but you would think with technology today that a car maker could make instantaneous heat. I mean, you would think, right? I mean, there's got to be a way to do that. And they're just, obviously, it's just not that important to them to do that. They'd rather people suffer and be cold for 10 minutes and until the car warms up.
It's not even 10 minutes. It's 3 minutes at the absolute most. 10 minutes is such an exaggeration.
Well, I mean, it feels like 10 minutes. When you're cold, time just creeps by. You would think, though, that the technology is such today that, you could have instantaneous heat and then instantaneous cold. Because I'll tell you what, I got a seat warmer in my car, and that thing fires up pretty damn quick.
Okay.
And your buns are baking before long.
I have another grievance to kind of teach you how this is done if you don't have one.
Yeah, please do.
I'm willing to acknowledge that this one might be really unpopular. Okay, so this is my grievance. Marshmallows. They serve no purpose. They serve no function in my life. And they're only kind of maybe sort of good when you put them with something else. Right? Like nobody thinks, unless you're doing the bunny challenge or whatever, nobody is just snacking on marshmallows on their own. They're not even an amplifier. They're not even sprinkles on top of the ice cream. They're just actually a physical waste of space. Marshmallows are pointless, and I don't need them to exist on this earth.
Well, you know what? I'm good. This might surprise you, but I'm going to agree with you. And to make it even worse, people that roast marshmallows, I don't see the point of that because they just get gooey and sticky and stick all over everything. And I'm not sure why that's a thing. And I know a lot of kids, I guess, like that just because you're sticking something in a fire. But I don't understand the whole roasted marshmallow thing. That drives me nuts. And I don't eat marshmallows at all, so I'm with you on that one.
If you told me I could have a lifetime supply of marshmallows or $5, I would take the $5. That has more worth to me than a lifetime supply of marshmallows. Even if you were like your family and friends could all access the marshmallows, I'd be like, you know what, they don't need them either. You know what I mean? Like we're good. We do not need this many marshmallows. I will take $1 over the lifetime supply of marshmallows.
Well, I got a question for you then, RJ. I mean, your son is what, 2 years old?
That's right.
Okay, what if when he's 5 or 6 comes up to you and says, Dad, I'd like some marshmallows, and I'd really like for you to, build a fire in the backyard so we could roast them. I heard my friends talking about it. It sounds like a great deal.
You know what, son? There's way more better things in life than marshmallows. I'm not going to let you wander down this path. Your friends, they want to be wrong. That's great. That's up to their parents, and they're not correcting them in the proper ways. But us in this house, we will not have any marshmallows. We got plenty of other snacks. We can do lots of other. You want a bowl of ice cream? I'll totally fix you a bowl of ice cream. But we don't. Marshmallows are pointless. They're not even good. They have no taste.
I can't believe you're going to do that to your kid. I mean, he's got to try it. He's got to learn for himself, RJ. He's
got to trust his dad too. He's got to trust his dad. So,
yeah, well, I trusted mine when he started the car and let it run for 30 minutes.
I saw a tweet this morning that said, being a parent is a lot like being the president. You don't get enough credit for the things you prevented from happening.
Okay. I'm assuming that your wife feels the same way about marshmallows.
I really, I don't know anyone who is a passionate, marshmallow person, but and then they come in all these different sizes, and look, we're coming up on Easter, and everyone's going to pretend that the bunnies, you know what I mean, the peeps or whatever are good. Nobody actually thinks that they're good. Nobody likes those Easter bunny candy things, whatever. They're a disaster. They're a waste of space.
I totally agree with that.
Do you have another grievance before we get out of here?
Well,
by the way, the SA Sports Star troll tweeted at us that there will be no marshmallow slander, and marshmallows are delicious. You guys hate happiness.
Who said that? Somebody said that.
Sports Star troll on Twitter.
Oh, the SA Sports Star troll. Okay.
See, Brian says no Rice Krispie treats for the kids. Come on, man. I'm fine if marshmallows are like an accent, but like the idea of marshmallows being the star are ridiculous to me. So, okay, give us a grievance, Joe. Come on, you can do this.
Well, I mean, well, that's pretty good. I didn't realize the grievances. I got nothing, RJ. I really don't. I mean, and maybe that's a grievance in itself. The fact that I've got nothing to complain about. I don't know
Your
if you can
life is
hear.
too good?
Well, life is good. I can't argue that. Life is pretty good. I don't know if you can hear it. I've got a dog, and she's the sweetest dog, and she's getting old, and she snores like a lumberjack. It's. I don't even know if I can say the name of the dog on. It's a. You know what kind of dog I'm talking about, right?
Oh, the one that you're afraid to say for like FCC regulations and stuff like that. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Exactly. So she doesn't have a nose, really. It's just smashed in her face. And she's over here to my left, laying down on her bed, and she's snoring like a lumberjack. And she does that at night too, and sometimes it can be annoying. So if that's a grievance, there you go. But I love the dog. She's great.
She's snoring because the morning huddle has come to an end. It's time for the nap. She's not hopped up on caffeine the way we are. The morning huddle has indeed come to an end. Our thanks to Joe Reinagle for filling in. He'll be back later on today on the Blitz. It's coming around the corner. They will see you then. Minix is going to pick an F1 team. We'll see you tomorrow on the morning huddle. San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf.